Film We Talk Weeklies. After the talk with your boy Charles Gregory. Let me get these up. And the beautiful.
Classy Lady Sparkle.
There we go. And the beautiful.
Lauren
I
Sizzle.
knew that was going to happen. One more again, Lauren.
Lauren Sizzle.
One more again.
Ooh.
There we go. Now, hear that voice. Okay. So, we're having a dynamic time, busy day. A lot of things that's going on. A lot of things that's happening in the community. A lot of things that's happening in the nation. It's just a lot going on.
Mhm.
Right. And I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about some of the things that's going on. And of course, it is what it is, right? We just got to continue to act as if, nothing affects us. I guess we got to act like that, right? No? Yeah, no? Act like things
No, that's corny.
Yeah.
I mean, if you gotta cry, cry.
And I know that's right. But it's just one of those things. So I guess before we do anything, why don't we start with how was your day? How was your day?
My day was all right. Well, I had to do that. What I do realize though is that everybody know I got kids, right? I realize that there are times as a parent, and I'm not gonna get into the business of my business, but you gotta put that ego to the side.
Right.
You gotta put the ego in the back. Like,
Right.
although your mom as they're growing up, but when they become adults, sometimes you just gotta, what they say, I'd rather win the battle than and lose the war. Like, so that was something that happened to me today where I had
lose
to
the battle to win the war.
Okay, yeah.
Sometimes you gotta lose the battles
to win the war.
Right?
Yeah.
So the small little bit, it's a saying, because the small little issues, sometimes you just want to go ahead and let them pass, because the bigger deed is usually the war to win the bottom line of it, right? So
yeah. So that's basically how my day went, where I had to realize, like, you're in a different stage in your life, and sometimes your ego comes in. I don't care what nobody say. Everybody got an ego, and sometimes you got to be like, tell that ego to get back. So that's what I had to do today.
Other day. So it was a learning lesson that you went through today, huh?
It was.
Okay.
It was, and I'm glad I learned it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Sizzle, what's up? Holla at me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, today. I don't hear on this mic.
Hold
You
on.
can hear me?
Hold on. One more. Let me see.
One.
Yeah, I hear you now. Yeah, go ahead.
Today was just really annoying and crazy. Like, I had a ton of stuff to do, but had some people come working on the house and installing new gutters, and they took it upon themselves to remove the fiber optic cable from the outside, and
out of all things,
damaged it. And that was yesterday at like 12:30. So needless to say, internet was back on like around 2:00 this afternoon. So that kept me from getting a lot of work done. I had my day planned out, but I had to cut out a lot of stuff to be at the house while Verizon was working on stuff, and just couldn't get anything done. So that just was aggravating. So this company, I'm getting ready to call y'all out, but I'm doing y'all a favor right now and not calling y'all out. But if I need to pull up, I will pull up.
You sure you don't want to name names?
You sure? I do.
You got to, don't you?
I do. Leaf Guard. Leaf Guard. Okay, because Verizon said to tell y'all better come get this cord, this cable that y'all messed up. Okay, they said they should be billing y'all for messing it up.
Yeah, that's funny.
But that messed up my day, so I couldn't get a lot of work done. But I'm here, so I'm woo-sign right now. Just trying to pull it down, but
no doubt.
Yeah, it is a lot of stuff that's going on. Hopefully, we'll get into some discussions today.
No doubt. And I'm sure you got a nice bit of things that you can share with the community and everyone who is watching us, all our viewers and listeners. So if you listening, we really appreciate you live on Spreaker. A lot of people listen to us on Spreaker, all of the podcast channels from Apple Podcasts, Amazon, all of that good old stuff. So we really appreciate you guys across not only the nation but across the country. We've been getting listeners all across the diaspora, across Europe, Australia, everywhere, and we're just super excited that we have a lot of people listening to We Talk Weekly. So if you're listening to us, we really appreciate it. If you're watching us, appreciate you too. Right. And continue to watch, continue to like, subscribe, continue to tell everyone that you know about We Talk Weekly. Right. And so I'm your boy, Charles Gregory, with the beautiful
Classy Lady Sparkle.
and the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
And you ready for me, Spark?
Oh, what we doing?
Good news and bad news, maybe. Do we have any?
Yeah, we got some. I always got some
All right, no
good
shame.
news and bad news.
Make sure you're talking to the mic, though. Yeah.
All right.
So let's get it started, man.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. No
All
doubt.
right. Well, like Sizzle said, we got a lot of stuff going on, especially here in Philadelphia. So Sherelle Parker has been very busy with our city. Lately, she's ended the city's long-standing set-aside policy that was reserved for contracts for minority, women, veteran, or disabled-owned businesses. Have y'all heard about that?
Yeah, that's interesting. I got a few things to say.
Okay, I want to hear it. This is basically the DEI.
Yeah.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion. All right. So while this policy has been in place for decades, it was sadly under Mayor Parker's administration when they stopped it. The city stopped. The city stopped actively enforcing the set aside goals in September. So set aside is the name of the program for the DEI, which was stopped under the Parker administration. A lawsuit and a federal appeals court decision found that the city's previous equity-based procurement rules could violate the U.S. Constitution's Equal Protection Clause. This is from the administration that is in D.C. right now, which is the Trump administration. Kendra Brooks, city council minority leader, said, "I am deeply troubled. In Philly, we're supposed to be a little grittier than that." Kenyatta Johnson, council president, said that our resolve remains even stronger to support Black, brown, and women-owned business. And that's it. So it sounds like Kenyatta Johnson is saying, although we don't have the DEI, we're still going to support and remain focused on those minority businesses and the Black and brown community.
Yeah, no doubt. Go ahead. You gotta say.
What I would say is I hope that people keep their money where their mouth is.
That's right.
Because at the end of the day, I would hate to see these minority businesses lose their funding and support because we don't have access to capital like that. That's as some of these other larger businesses have. We just don't have the access to capital. So we rely heavily on, the tax breaks and those little, grants and even the support.
We Talk Weekly does talk about us.
Right? Yeah, grassroots organizations. Right. Like we work hard. We work hard to get this money, and to have that support and just have it taken away. In the era of nationwide DEI rollbacks is just extremely disappointing. And I know that some other organizations are doing that, and they have rebranded those donations and scholarships and all that, and they rebranded it and I guess given it a name where it's not so much as like a DEI name, but it's like where they can still give the money away. So I'm hoping that that's where this goes. Instead of like it just goes away and because I attended an event on Thursday with that was held by Free Press, and the FCC commissioner was there, and one thing that she did say is that this administration has weaponized the term DEI. And it's sad that we live in this culture right now, this climate right now, where you can't even say the word DEI. It's just it's and to see this happening here, it just forecasts, to me, it's forecasting things that I hope will not come. But it just looks grim. I'm just going to say that.
And when someone thinks, so DEI literally means diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? DEI now is replaced by gay or Black. Every time you say DEI, all they see is Black or all they see is gay or anything other than the exact meaning of what DEI means. And so we just have to continue to fight, continue to do better with our own community and come together and strategize and see how we can support our own.
Yeah, right. I mean, right now we have no option.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we
We forced to
can't
do it.
Yeah, we're back up
I
against the
mean,
wall.
And yeah, I was going to say something like, as if, do we have, like, although we were forced not to, what things can we do as a community together to say no, enough is enough, and we're not having that.
Right.
I got a couple things, especially as it relates to, say, for example, Black media like us, right? If we stop gatekeeping, right? Say, for example, there's major events in Philadelphia and it's done by, say, for example, I don't know, a black business. Instead of worrying about traditionals like the legacy media being able to have the ability to cover, allow Black media, allow independent media to come and cover it and stop gatekeeping for stuff like that. And in that way you're supporting. Or maybe you don't shop at Zara, maybe you don't shop at I don't know, Neiman and Marcus and Lord and Tellers and of those dynamic department stores, and you start shopping independent. You go to your friend who knows how to tailor and make clothes. We know thousands of designers. We can start supporting them. We can do cash mobs and go into the. I can continue this. This is nothing. This is nothing to continue to say, like, how do we support our own? It's a lot of Black real estate agents. Instead of going to, I don't know, the major real estate agents, why don't we knock on the door and say, you know what? I saw some commercials by someone who looked like me. Let's go and support them. You want me to give you more?
Right. No.
Oh, okay.
No,
All
yeah,
right. There you go.
yeah,
There you
yeah.
go. Yeah.
All right. There it is.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
All right. Well, we all have heard about the shutdown.
Yeah.
So the 43rd day government shutdown is officially over. 43 days.
Yeah.
The longest shutdown in history. So President Donald Trump signed the funding bill last night. The other night, not last night, but reopening federal agencies and allowing workers to finally get paid again after weeks of missed checks, airport delays, and long lines at the food banks. The fight came down to Democrats wanting to extend an Affordable Care Act tax credit, and the Republicans refusing to tie it to a short-term spending bill. Trump blamed the Democrats for the gridlock, saying, "Don't forget what they've done to our country." The House passed the bill for 222 to 209 people just hours before signing. Even Republicans said that that this shutdown never works. So what do you think about that with the shutdown?
I'm just glad that it's over. You know, I know a few people whom works in the capacity of the feds, as they call it, the federal government, who were struggling during the time because they weren't getting paid. From my understanding, they are going to get back pay. But during that time, it was rough. Most of us, I don't know about y'all, but most of us are living check to check. And so you miss one check, it's curtains.
Right.
You know, you go into debt at that point, even if you get the back pay, right? Because stuff accumulates.
Come out of
Yeah. So, you know, it's just, that's how I feel about it. I'm just happy that they're back. What happened, and let's move forward and let's see how we can make sure something like that doesn't happen again.
So they are going to get their back pay.
Yeah, they are going to get their back pay.
All right. So was this argument because of the Democrats wanting to extend the Affordable Care Act? I mean, they're saying that they couldn't come into an agreement about that. Did you know that?
So that was what the Democrats did want. They did want them to include the Affordable Care Act in the bill, which did not happen. You have the 8 Democrats that pretty much broke from the party and sided with the Republicans to end the shutdown, which they walked away with absolutely nothing. So you have a lot of people that were like the Democrats had a lot of wins, especially coming off of this election where it
Yeah.
was you had
The
so
blue
many different
wave. Yeah.
yeah, and you had so
Mhm.
many different gains, and a lot of people felt like that they were putting their trust in you, and they were like, oh well, just hold the line, because at this point it's 43 days.
Mhm.
We're fighting for health care,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and let's just keep going. Then you have these 8, who I guess they broke from the party and they made their decision, and then now people are upset.
Yeah.
They're
Mhm.
not happy, and it doesn't seem to be like a win situation. Like, even though the government shutdown is over, people can get back to work eventually. They'll get their back pay and all that, and who knows with SNAP. But it's just like, when January 30th comes around, and
Mhm.
then what?
Yeah.
Then what? Because people who get their health care from the marketplace, who are like wanting to have these tax, these one of the credits extended for the ACA, and they don't get that. Now they're going to go from paying like these astronomical numbers just for healthcare is insane.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
And it's like, the fight was for what
Mhm.
at this point? Because you pretty much was like, all right, well, Republicans, we're going to pinky promise that when it's time for us to come back at the table to negotiate, we make this pinky promise. Don't put it in the bill, but you don't have to put it in the bill. Just pinky promise that we're going to talk about ACA.
Mhm.
Right.
Wow.
And if they say no, they say no. And then it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
and they're calling for Schumer to step down
Mhm.
because of all this.
Well, for those that don't know, that the Affordable Care Act is also known as Obamacare. So,
Mhm.
Oh, they use that interchangeably, like
Yeah.
when it fits.
When it fits, yeah.
Because now it's like they switch the narrative. The Republicans are saying like, oh, the Democrats wanted to fight for Obamacare,
Yeah.
Mhm.
not like fight for ACA.
Yeah.
Right.
They want to fight for Obamacare so they can their constituents can be like, oh, well, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I don't want them fighting. I don't. They're fighting for that. Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
For those who are listening, ACA, the Affordable Care Act, for those who are listening and don't know what ACA is or what we are referring to as the Affordable Care Act. Please,
Mhm.
program.
Yeah. All right. On to some good news. Gooder, better, happier news. All right. Netflix. Everybody know they got that Netflix bill, and now they got it set up where I guess you can't, share it like you used to. Well, Netflix just opened its first ever permanent Netflix house at the King of Prussia
Yeah, that's
King of
pretty
Prussia
cool.
Mall.
I heard about that.
KOP.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that. What's that all about?
Uh-huh. All right. So it's 100,000 square feet of pure fan immersion. So they have movies like Wednesday, Bridgerton, Stranger Things, One Piece, all those that you can take pictures and those selfies with. Visitors can step inside their favorite world and play mini golf. They can do VR battles, the virtual battles. They can do the inspired dishes at Netflix Spikes, and the entry is free.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's dope.
But the big interactive experience starts at $39. So if you want to do interactive stuff, you got to pay for that. But you
That's not
can
bad.
go and take like free pictures and stuff at the Netflix house. Greg Lombardo from Netflix says fans have welcomed us into their homes for over 2 decades, over 20 years, and it was time we welcomed them into ours. With over 300 local employees and menus inspired by Philly's flavors, Lombardo calls it your home away from home. Netflix house is officially open at KOP.
Nice.
Wow.
That's
So,
dope. Yeah.
y'all gonna go visit?
It sounds
I
pretty
don't
cool.
know.
Yeah.
It does sound
Yeah.
cool, but
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like it's my thing.
Mhm.
Everybody used to go to KOP. Do they still go there? Like just to go?
Yeah, I mean,
Malls
Yeah.
have not been like it was at
Yeah.
one time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, last
yeah.
time I was there, it was empty. It was
At
pretty
King of
empty.
Prussia?
Yeah, last time I went to King of Prussia, it was
Hmm.
pretty empty. Yeah, Like, wow, interesting. Because it's usually, but then again, I did go through the week.
Mhm.
It's usually, I guess, pretty heavy on like go Saturday, Sunday morning,
Mhm.
afternoon. But yeah, it was empty last time I was there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
for
a
sure.
lot of people are, as we know, ordering online.
Mhm.
I was home and my son came over. He's like, "Mom, some lady dropping some bags off at the front door." I said, "What?" He was like, "Some Walmart bags."
Mm.
I was like, "Oh my gosh, Verity went shopping for me." She went grocery shopping.
Oh, that's so
Yeah, it
cute.
was. She surprised me with groceries, but we live in a day now where she home and where her city where she live at, but she went food shopping for me and my
That's
groceries.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was
like
just telling somebody that I was like, because I had went to see my dietitian,
mhm.
and I was just telling her like how I hate going to, because she's like, oh yeah, just go up the food aisle and then you can look through and see what has protein.
Right,
I'm like, go up the food aisle. Like, I hate shopping,
right.
grocery
I could do
shopping.
that. I
Like,
could read it
I just go online. Yeah, that's
Yep,
what I
and read
said. I
it.
just go
Yep.
online and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
click, add to cart, check out, and that's it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm
That's
not.
right.
I'm one of those people. Like, and I mentioned it because you said that the malls was empty.
Yeah.
I'm the person that wants to do it online.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay, no
Yeah.
doubt.
because I don't like putting groceries away either. I'm kidding.
No,
you hate going shopping for them, then putting them in the car, then
I'm so
the
glad my
loading,
son likes
unloading.
that.
Oh, he likes putting them away.
Because I used to have order them and they would be at the house and he'd be the only one home, so he had no
Mhm.
choice.
To
So
put 'em
after a
up.
while, he got used to doing it. So
Mhm.
whenever I do it, he just puts them away.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Mhm.
All right. So for 2025, since we're going to the end of it, I thought that this segment would be appropriate. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro has continued granting clemency across the Commonwealth. So far this year, the state has received 771 pardon applications. Of those, 294 made it through the merit review stage, and 363 were heard at public hearings. So the Pennsylvania Board of Pardons has recommended 144 pardons. So remember that number. How many? How many?
144.
100. They recommended them. 152 total cases have been sent to the governor's desk.
144 pardons, 152 was sent to the governor's desk.
Yes.
Okay.
Governor Shapiro has granted 11 pardons.
Out of 144, 152.
And 2 commutations of life sentences. So 13 total to this date. Yeah.
Did they say why? Like he only did the 11?
I think because, as I mentioned, it goes through the merit, then it's almost like triage. They go through a review, the public hearing, they go through the recommended, and then once it gets to him, he triages what gets sent in. I don't know if he has, more than likely it's another pair of eyes, but whatever those cases were something.
Got you. So in all fairness,
that's crazy.
It could have winged down before it even got to him if it goes through this vetting thing.
152 total cases have been sent to the governor's desk.
Wow.
So, but again, okay,
Right,
yes.
right, yeah,
to your
yeah,
point,
yeah.
then who knows if there's a desk before his desk that they're doing another check of seeing. So, and there may be a rubric. I'm quite sure they got some type of rubric at every stage. So the rubric, by the time it got to the desk before the governor's desk, has like some type of criteria that they look at before it gets there. But again, this is only to date. So there's still time in 2025 that some of those, are still.
So it's ongoing. It's not like that was it.
No, no, you still have time.
I mean, still
for this year to.
I'm passionate about our returning citizens and our people who are upstate. Man, keep your head up. We appreciate y'all. We know that y'all fighting hard, especially to get back, especially those who were accused falsely, right? And who are truly not guilty. We want you to come back. We're going to keep advocating for you guys for sure.
And are they in custody?
Yes.
These are in custody.
These are in custody for pardons. Yeah. From my understanding. That's a great question, because you can still get someone pardoned even after release.
Yeah, because I have a story also
Oh,
where it was talking about a pardon, but it's not that. That's why I was wondering,
Wow.
like, is it like in custody? But those are life sentences, right?
no, some of them aren't. That's why.
Really?
Yep, he pardoned 2 life sentences. Yeah,
Oh
so
my
he did pardon
gosh.
2 life sentences. Yeah,
Mhm.
but the clemency, no, you can get pardoned. These are
Interesting.
So the
ones that were
people,
sent
oh
to
my
him.
gosh.
Yeah.
So they aren't even like life or death row. They're just like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
Mm.
that's a good question if some of them have already been
yeah.
yeah. And then I just wanted to, echo what you said, see about the some of the people who are in jail for crimes they didn't commit. That exoneration part is something else. And
Yeah.
one thing about Pennsylvania is that, and I know this because my sister has a nonprofit where she does help people who, were falsely accused to, get monies. Pennsylvania does not award you money once they sign you as an exonerated.
Which is bad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think that needs to be something highlighted in the state of Pennsylvania, because other states say, hey, it was what we found that, put you here, charged you, took that time frame. And then they have, like I said, the
Yeah.
criteria to say how long you were in there is how long a certain amount of what you get. And Pennsylvania doesn't have that.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah, we need to do better.
Yeah. So that was your good news. I had some good news
Mhm.
and your bad news from your girl, Classy Lady Sparkle.
And that was the good news and bad news for Classy Lady Sparkle. I'm your boy Charles Gregory, the beautiful
Classy Lady
and the
Sparkle.
beautiful.
With Lawrence Sizzle.
I don't want you guys to come back when we. I said I don't want you guys to. No, I
Right.
want you guys to come
Right.
back and stay here. Don't go anywhere. Right. We'll be right back, y'all.
What's going on? This your favorite fly guy, Charles Gregory. We Talk Weekly. Listen, everyone always asks me, they inbox me, email me, all type of things. We're trying to find your podcast. I mean, we can find your videos everywhere. All we have to do is go to WeTalkWeekly.com, or all we need to do is go to YouTube, or all we need to do is turn on Business Bully channel, turn on Higher Than 7, turn on, we can find you. But sometimes I just want to work out and I want to listen to your podcast. I want to hear the latest in the sizzle, entertainment news, or good news and bad news, or just simply, I want to hear the interviews, some music, anything sports. I just want to listen. But I don't know where to find your podcast. I said, you know what? It's real simple. All you have to do is ask the right person. Watch this. Hey Alexa, play We Talk Weekly's podcast.
Here's We Talk Weekly from Amazon Music. Here's where you left off in the latest episode. Olivia Jade Red Table Talk, Kevin Hart backlash for Netflix special No F's Given, and more.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to We Talk Weekly's After the Talk. And I'm your boy Charles Gregory with the beautiful. And the beautiful.
Classy Lady Sparkle.
See, I told you. It's not that hard, ladies and gentlemen. All you have to do is ask the right person. Ask Alexa. Look, I'm out here. Thanks for watching. Keep supporting. Keep subscribing. Keep telling people to chime in. We out here like last year. I love.
We just want to get a little background as to who the Fantastic Noise is and the noisemakers. If you can let us know.
Yes, absolutely. So once again, I am Fantastic Noise. I am the original noisemaker, so no one's going to make as much noise as me, okay? And right here we have the Noisemaker Band. This is only half of it. The other stuffs are upstairs. My Kevin Lamar, Lonnie, and Dobbs, who are the actual band members. These are the background singers. And we came to make some noise. We came to bring that noise today.
That's right.
That's what we try to do. That's it.
right.
Yeah.
And how did you guys get together?
Oh man, so it started with, I've been doing this on my own for almost 3 years now. And man, I guess each of these people here have different background stories. Most of us went to the same church together, and we just kept going. This one, her, this is one of my assistants here, one of like my biggest supporter, my biggest shooter here. She's an assistant. So we just been building, and the same thing with upstairs with the band, just meeting through people, kept networking, kept seeing, and it was just like God ordained. Bam, here we are.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, could you guys do We Talk Weekly a favor?
Yes.
Can you give us a drop in a melody type way?
Oh, a melody type way?
Yes.
Okay. So We Talk Weekly?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to do something like this. We Talk Weekly, come and hear us. We Talk Weekly, come and hear them. 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 We Talk Weekly, come and hear them.
Mama Near Club.
Say that again.
Mama Near Club.
Mama Near. That's a hard word. Mama Near. Can y'all say that?
The Mama Near Club. I started the Mama Near Club when I was pregnant with my son. I was learning so much, and I didn't realize how many options that we had. Like growing up in the hood, options not really presented to you. You just feel like you got to follow suit with whatever people say you got to do. And as I started to do my research, I'm like, okay, a lot of people could benefit from this information that I'm researching. So I would just share all of the information that I was learning so other people can realize that they got options. It don't matter where you're from. It don't matter what your income level is. You got options.
So describe what the Mama Near Club is.
So the Mama Near Club is a club for moms that's on a mission to make their dreams a reality. A lot of times when you have kids, you feel like your world is over. And no, that's when your world just began. Because like, the true blessing to your children is a mom that's fulfilled, So I don't believe in stopping your dream for anything. You got to figure out how to balance both. And I don't like to say balance because when you think of balance, you're thinking like this, right? And you just never really steady. I like to harmonize, like see how it can all flow together. And I just think that as a mom, you don't have to stop your life. Men don't stop their life when they have kids. That's when they go harder. And I feel like we can do the same thing too. So that was that. It was just to encourage moms. You got this. Listen, you got this. You done birthed a whole human and you figured it out. That's the hardest job in the world. Nobody ain't tell me that. You have to figure that out. I'm sure you can figure this business out,
Reporter Ella presents a new recipe that can help feed the community. Over to you, Ella.
Thanks, Willow. Now that fall is upon us, what's not a better way to start the fall season than an easy and simple recipe? Pumpkin bread is the most delicious and easiest food you can make for yourself, family and friends, and your community. Take a look. Today we're going to make pumpkin bread, so make sure you screenshot this recipe and let's get started. First, preheat your oven to 350 degrees. In one of your bowls, mix your flour, baking soda, baking powder, salt, and pumpkin pie spice. With your fork, mix. Now with your second bowl, mix your sugar, oil, and applesauce with a whisk. Once everything is mixed together, add your pumpkin and mix again. When everything is mixed evenly, combine both mixtures together. Make sure you scrape everything out so nothing is wasted. Now mix evenly until there's no lumps. After that, you want to set that aside and grab your bread pan. Lather some butter all around and add a little flour and spread it around until it looks like this. Now you want to pour the bread batter into the bread pan. Make sure you scrape everything out so nothing is wasted. Cut a line in the middle and it's ready for the oven. Make sure you wear oven mitts and let the bread bake for 60 minutes. Once the 60 minutes is up, take it out of the oven and let it sit for a few minutes. When the bread pan is safe to touch, use a straight edge to separate the pan and bread. This step is optional, but if you would like, slice the bread into thick slices and it should look something like this. You are all done. Dig in and enjoy your pumpkin bread. This pumpkin bread is the perfect way to feed your family, friends, and your community. Willow, what did you think about this recipe?
I think that this recipe is perfect for the rising fall weather. Substituting the egg with the applesauce is a great option for others with an egg allergy.
Thanks, Willow. I'm Ella Guanzon reporting for Youth Civic News. Back to you, Willow.
We Talk Weeklies After the Talk on WPPMP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies After the Talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful.
Classy Ladies
And the
Podcast.
beautiful.
Lauren Sizzle.
And we are definitely in the building, man. Like I said, it's a lot going on. I know, the frustrating thing for me is I just want to back up and talk a little bit about your story, Spark, when you were mentioning, what were you talking about? The DEI situation here. And
with Sherelle Parker stopping it with
right.
Philadelphia.
One thing that I wanted to mention was it's a little disheartening to see the first woman Black mayor disregard this new initiative, right? Or not even new, but disregard the fact that it takes DEI, it acknowledges, the injustices, it acknowledges the inequities of marginalized groups, right? That's what DEI is, right? It acknowledges and say, hey, that we see there's some inequities here. We want to just even a playing field. We don't want to do this because you're Black. We want to do this because we understand that your demographic hasn't had the opportunities and resources, and we just want to support and make sure that we can, give you a little step ladder to get up equally to where everyone else is, right? Mm-hmm. That said,
I got a comment when you're done.
All right. That said, I can say probably with 100% certainty that her being able to have or get into those leadership positions that she was able to get to is by way of DEI. I will argue that. It doesn't take away from how smart she is, how intelligent she is, how informed she is, because I would argue that the quote unquote idea of affirmative action in colleges, people getting in schools like Yale and Harvard, is not because they're not qualified to do so. It's just because sometimes certain communities are overlooked just because your name might be a Daquan or Vashika or even Kamala, right?
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
Affirmative action is the same as the DEI word. You can't say.
I know, right?
They've also weaponized that word.
That's right. See, and that's the point, right? And so the fact that that's one of the things that for her to, she's literally the poster child of DEI. Black woman first in Philadelphia.
Right. But
go ahead.
And just because it's in her defense, but it's because it's factual that she could violate the U.S. Constitution's Equal Protection Clause, meaning that I don't know if her fighting back would allow her to not lose her job or what, but you're saying ruffle up some feather or, ruffle some things going on, make the waves go a little bit deeper, make it where your voice can be like, no, if anybody got to stand on 10 toes down, Philadelphia is, and we're not going to back down. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is I have been there. I have been in the street. I have been to her town halls. I have been to a lot of spaces that the mayor have been unapologetic to with her voice and her stance. And she could have did the exact same thing when it came to this. I've been there. We Talk Weekly. You can go to We Talk Weekly and
see
the amount of footage that we have for the mayor of Philadelphia who has yelled at people, who have stood 10 toes down in support of her policy, right? Which is okay. She's supposed to do that, right? It's just a little curious to see her not taking a position like that now. She have taken more of a position in contrast to the people who live downtown, Chinatown, when she was advocating for having an arena down there.
And
Go ahead.
And not to cut you off,
No, sure.
what I would love to see, in this moment when it comes to that is hopefully that there will be some type of explanation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because a lot of these people are her constituents. A lot of these people voted for her. So I would
That's
love
right.
to see like, hey, this is just something that we're doing. I don't know if there's some type of, maybe they're reforming or rebranding these programs and rolling them out a different way. I would love to see that happen.
Yeah.
But if these programs just go away and there's nothing said and nothing done, that's a tragedy
Yeah.
for the people in Philadelphia who are small business people and
100%.
small companies and organizations, and it's just sad.
It is really sad. But like I said, because I don't want anyone to mistake the position, because I would not want her to violate anything, any policy or anything, right? I do believe that she could have easily just kept quiet and not said anything and continue to do her mission, whether it was supporting or not. But for her to take a strong stance and this is what I'm not doing, it was a little curious. But that's
you mean so the announcement?
Yes, she didn't have to do the announcement.
But they stopped. But people who have applied for this set aside program are not getting it, so they would want to know why.
Yeah, but and they get just like when you apply to a job and you don't get the job, what happens?
They send you an email.
They send you an email and a letter, sorry, we had a lot of, that type of thing. She could have did that to everyone that applied. We apologize, but,
based on the
based
new
on
US federal laws,
blah, blah,
it doesn't allow us to.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So, but yeah, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to touch on that because we love our mayor. She's the first, and we always support her. She actually been on the show, and we like to say people who are in these leadership positions that come to the show, we say that we partly responsible for that. So we love our mayor, and whether you like her or not, you got to support because she is the mayor, right? And so go ahead.
Do you think the council people should be doing more then?
Absolutely.
The city council, the mayor's not, even though that's their boss, but they're the ones who say, hey, this is what the community is asking
but
for.
See that, and that's the problem that I have with city council, and we'll go into that because it looks like we have our next guest on.
Okay.
But what I will say, however, is that's a little curious also, because council people, the council officers, the people in council, city council, the officers are supposed to be kind of the check and balances when it comes to the mayor. And it just seems like whatever she says, then hey, this is what we're going to do. You have people that are voting elected officials in to make sure that they are the voice of the community in your particular district. And if the community is saying in your particular district, especially districts like South Philly, where gentrification has happened overwhelmingly, you have a lot of people that are saying, hey, we have a problem with, maybe housing, because now it's too expensive. So if you're for that particular policy and you have, say, for example, someone fighting against it that's out of city council is supposed to be fighting for you.
Right.
So that's the problem. Not that, no one is informed. It just seems pretty curious that it doesn't appear to be that council is fighting. That said, I know for a fact that many on city council fight for the people. Shout out to Jamie Gaudier, because she's been doing a lot of work, and I had to actually post on her profile that I'm surprisingly thankful of her, the way that she's been advocating by way of the people on certain policies, right? And I'll just leave it at that because we have our next guest on the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We have our guest coming up. So, Classy Lady Sparkle, who do we have today?
Today we have Mr. Dr. Akani, Doctor of Physical Therapy, Forbes Health Featured Wellness Expert, and founder of the Wellness Lab. He's empowering over 100,000 women worldwide through education and transformation. Y'all already know what to do. Let's give a warm We Talk Weekly welcome to Dr. Akani.
Give him a round of applause.
Hello. How are y'all?
How are you, my friend? How are you?
I'm doing good. I can't complain. How's your day going?
So far so good. It's always busy over here in Philly, and we talk with
Yeah,
you as we prepare to give the information to the good old folk out there.
love it.
And you have a lot of great things that you're doing over there. But before we start with kind of, the things that you're doing, right? Why don't we talk about, one, how was your day,
Yeah,
right? And then two, let's talk a little bit about how you got started in the
yeah,
field and your travels, your education, your
yeah.
your academics, you being an academic now, and
Mhm.
all of that good old stuff. Yeah,
Yes. So I had a good day. A lot
fantastic.
of time with the kids, just running around. I got a 3-year-old and a 1.5-year-old, so they keep me super busy.
Mhm.
But it was a good day. But how I got here, so I started back in 2016. Once I graduated, I was a personal trainer, training in person. Mainly, we were focusing on like training both men and women at that time. And a lot of the people that were coming to us, even though we were marketing to both men and women, it was majorly women. So during that time, things were going well, but I hit a period where it was like, I know what I know, but there's still a lot that I don't know. So I went back to school and I got my doctorate in physical therapy. Went back to school in 2018, graduated 2021. And around that time, I started to develop the Wellness Lab.
Mm.
My mother was going through her own health issues and seeing some of the things that she went through, whether it was she had high blood pressure, high cholesterol. So helping her get healthy kind of pushed me in that direction of, okay, I want to help women who look just like my mother. And the Wellness Lab started to become blossomed. And it was crazy because on my insights on social media, there was a period where I was still marketing to everyone, but 92% of my following were women. So it was like God was thrusting me in this direction. And it was like, all right, let's jump head first. And
Yeah,
things have just grown and blossomed over the years.
fantastic. I just want to jump to a position because you're talking about women's wellness and putting emphasis on the lack thereof when it comes to just even healthcare, mental wellness. There was, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but there was a video going around on social media where a young lady seemed to be or allegedly in she was about to have a baby, right? She went into labor and it appeared that no one was helping her and assisting her.
Yeah.
Now, statistically, from 200 years ago, 400 years ago, the idea that Black women's pain threshold is overwhelmingly high and they don't have pain and all that good old stuff, right? Or not good old stuff, I shouldn't say that, but all of that, lack of knowledge and ignorance, right,
Yeah.
seemed to show itself during this video,
Yeah.
right? Have you seen that video, and what's your thoughts on that through the lens of what you actually do?
Yeah. My wife tried to show me that video and I told her I couldn't. I started to watch like the first 5 seconds and then I told her I just couldn't watch it
Mm.
because we're expecting, well, she's expecting,
Oh gosh,
and
yeah.
having a daughter,
Mm.
our daughter is due January. And I was like, in this moment right now, I can't watch that.
Mm-mm.
Right.
So she started to show it to me and I'm like, I don't know how you're watching it, but
Yeah.
I couldn't watch it. But if we talk about pain is relative to the user. It's relative to the person because you can tap me on the wrist and it felt like nothing. You can tap me on the wrist and depending on how my body responds to it, I can be in severe pain.
Right.
That's one of the things that frustrates me about the healthcare system because yes, pain can both be, it's physical, it's both emotional, it's tied to our trauma. So there's a lot of different factors that come into it. And yes, I understand in like certain cases in the healthcare system where there's certain demographics. However, you have to approach each person individually. If someone comes in and says, I am in pain, you have to go through the steps to figure out what is causing you this pain. Is it emotional? Is it physical? What is actually happening? And I think oftentimes, yes, there's a lot of things going on in healthcare where they're overwhelmed, they're stressed out, et cetera, but it's never an excuse to ignore someone's experience.
Right. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, that just gave me a whole kind of like just a thought, even going back to times when they just thought about how Black women were supposed to be, because we're Black that we can tolerate pain and the experiments and all the things that they did to Black people back in the day, the slavery times and you know, the experiments and all that just made me think of that. And it's just horrible. It's just horrible.
Yeah. And there was, with my wife during her second pregnancy, one of those things where I really had to advocate while we were in the room, because she was preeclamptic and we got to the point where we were about to lose her, and everyone in the room was talking, and I had to let my voice be heard of like, let's just do what we need to do to get this baby out. And the biggest thing is having someone who can advocate for you.
That part.
And especially in the healthcare system, if one person isn't listening, find someone else who will. During our first pregnancy, my wife requested a different doctor. We just didn't like the demeanor of the first doctor. And we told them, hey, we need somebody else. Never feel guarded or never feel bad for having to stand up for yourself. If you do not like your care, advocate for yourself to get someone else, and keep advocating until you get the answers. Because oftentimes you'll go into the room with your doctor, they'll be there for 5 minutes and then you leave, but you're still confused. You pay how much for that visit? Even if you was only there for 5 minutes, you can pay a lot for that visit. Get everything that you need. Come in there with your list, come in there prepared, and do not let them leave until you get the full answers and clarity that you need.
Awesome. Doctor, can you tell us, you have a wellness lab, and it looks like it's not just on the physical therapy, it's on the mindfulness, it's the, you know, the mental wellness of people and particularly women. What does that look like as, you know, women of different stages that come in? A lot of women, I'll say for my Generation X, have like perimenopause, and they think that, you know, life is just going away, you know, and it's like people are divorcing, you know, quitting their jobs, just putting everything on the line, and they don't understand that it's not them, it's other parts of what their body is going through. So do you have those conversations, and what does that look like?
Yes, the biggest thing when someone comes to us is having that conversation around habits, because regardless of where you are in your journey, your habits tell a story. Okay, yes, you may be going through perimenopause. Yes, we have these different hormonal shifts happening, but when is the last time you got 8 hours of sleep? When is the last time you walked consistently every day? When is the last time you exercised, whether it was with weights or a random YouTube video that you found? When is the last time we got at least 25 grams of fiber in the day? So while, yes, external things and internal things are happening to your body, oftentimes we're in control of our habits. It's just a lack of awareness. So the first conversations we have is, I have to meet you where you are, and then we have to figure out what is the first step. Because oftentimes people come to us and they're at point A, point Z, they didn't reach their goals, they're living their best life. Okay, but what is point B? I got to get you out of that office chair and get you walking more. I got to get you out of that office chair and get you like actually taking a lunch break instead of working through your lunch break. So it's the little things that we have to work on step by step to getting them, one, to believe that it's possible and their body isn't broken, but two, to actually getting them some form of a result so that they believe it's possible.
Now, do you, when you started your journey into this field, what was your first thought? What was it? An aha moment? Was it a situation that got you into it? Was it something that you felt there was missing space, or space that you needed to fill? What was it that got you into the space?
Yeah, the initial thing that triggered it for me, there was I want to say it was like high school, and the movie Just Right with Queen Latifah and
Oh yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah, it was a great movie. And I was an athlete at the time. I played basketball in college. And watching that movie, it was something about how she cared for him as a physical therapist. Seeing him, okay, he tore his ACL, she was able to bring him back. And it was she helped him both physically and emotionally. And I was like, if this basketball thing don't work out, that's an avenue that I can go through. And come to find out, the basketball thing didn't work out because I had 3 ankle surgeries and I had to go the other route. So physical therapy. So that's what kind of planted the seed. And then once I actually got into it, the biggest discrepancy that I saw is just a lack of knowledge. Even something as simple as exercise names. Hey, I need you to go do a push-up, and people do push-ups with their arms out like this versus doing a push-up like if Hey, I tell you lay on the ground and get up, that's going to look different. So the biggest gap that I saw was, and that's why a lot of my content, if you see on social media, is education based. If you teach people, now they can make more informed decisions about their health and be better off in the long term.
Awesome. So with physical therapy, a lot of times people don't even realize that they are breathing incorrectly, moving incorrectly. Like, are those things that you feel like you're teaching to adults that should have already known this?
Over time, yes, if it becomes a thing. Oftentimes, if you get someone in a rhythm, their body kind of auto corrects because we believe there's a certain way to do everything. If I tell you all to squat now, your squats are going to look completely different. Mm-hmm. Is one squat better than the other? It depends. Some people got long legs. Some people got shorter legs. Some people have limited ankle mobility. Some others don't. So the first thing is getting a baseline understanding of what does this person's body need? How is this person's body supposed to respond to these different movements? And then coaching that, because everyone's response is going to be different. I can tell you to breathe one way because yes, there's an optimal way when you do certain exercises like squats, etc. But in the grand scheme of things, if you're just squatting your body weight, how you're breathing doesn't necessarily matter. I just need to get you in a rhythm first.
Awesome. I hear the babies.
Yes, they are. I could tell them to keep it down, but it's.
Oh no, we love to hear that. And you said that your wife is expecting, correct?
Yes. We have our first girl on the way, so it's going to shake some things.
Oh, that is so wonderful. Now, how important is it? And I know this is still on the health side, but how important is it for people to understand that when a baby is in the womb, where the mother is supposed to be very relaxed and not stressed and have that environment so that when the baby's born, it can cut down on colic. It can, so many different things. What would you say to that?
Yeah, it's a precious time where a lot is happening both mentally because you're having to deal with the ramifications of your body is changing. Especially if it's your first child, now you're wondering, okay, how am I going to be once I become a mother? How is life going to look? Then as you have multiple kids, it's like, okay, now I have to start, how am I going to divide and conquer once the next baby gets here? And then if you're going through pregnancy, you already have some underlying health issues. Now you have that on your mind as well. And the biggest thing is if you weren't exercising consistently going into your pregnancy, outside of walking, I wouldn't recommend going into vigorous exercise during your pregnancy because your body hasn't built up the capacity for it. Versus if you've already been doing it, it's just another day for your body. Yes, we're still carrying, but it's another day for your body. So it's really being strategic because you may hear sometimes they tell women, yeah, during your pregnancy, you should exercise, you should do this, that, and the third, but there's a certain way you go about it. It's still going to be helpful to ward off things like preeclampsia, to ward off things like gestational diabetes. So it's helpful. We still want to be mindful, but it's all within reason depending on what your journey looks like.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, this is a fact that wowed me. Over the course of your career, he has positively impacted the lives of more than 100,000 women. That's amazing, right? I'm curious, however, what was it specifically that made you say, this is a demographic that I want to concentrate on? Why women?
Yeah, it was twofold I believe I was called to do it because when I started, I was speaking to both men and women. And when I was training in person, even though I was marketing to both men and women, about 80 to 90% of my clients were women. Now I go into this online space. When I first started, yes, I know I'm building the wellness lab. It's funny. Our colors are pink, white, and gray. And it was like all the signs were leading to this thing. And I started getting bigger on social media, looking at my analytics, over 90% are women. There's a need.
That's right.
So let's dive into this need. And then the roller coaster just kept going from there, essentially. And now I see why. The messages that I get in my DMs, the messages that I hear on social media, even those who aren't my clients. Someone came to me about a month ago and they said, You helped my mom reverse her pre-diabetes. She was watching your videos. I never had a conversation with neither of them. Like, we've been watching your videos for a couple months and we've applied every single thing. And I just want to say you've changed our lives. And hearing stuff like that, and I'm like, I don't even know you. I've never spoken to you, but knowing that one video or series of videos can have that impact is amazing.
Wow. Wow. Fantastic. Now, you mentioned, or in your background, some of the things you do, of course, as it relates to health, bodies. You also mentioned relationships. As you know, there's always this battle between War of the Roses, right? You know, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. You know, the constant battle, the structure between, you know, relationship battles, who's what, especially now is, you know, this idea, this conversation that you can turn on YouTube, and then you have the red pill movement, you have all of these things, right? So I'm curious to know what scope of relationships that you dabble in, and what's your idea, you know, of how, you know, the way that relationships are formed now. You know, it's a stark difference from the way that it used to be, right? Now it seems completely different, and, you know, even wellness and mental health in relationships, right? You know, we're consuming all of the negative and toxic traits of relationships. So I'm interested in your take on, you know, one, your field, the lens that you work through, right? But also what we're consuming through the globe as we see it today.
Yeah. In the grand scheme of how we affect things, the biggest thing whenever someone signs up is having a whole conversation with the entire family of how is this plan going to look? Because you can have one person and one spouse who's trying to get healthy. You can have the other spouse who's not on board. And now there's friction whenever there's somebody cooking. Because, hey, I'm trying to eat this way. I'm trying to eat this way. Yeah, you can get healthy, but I feel like I'm okay. So whenever we're creating meal plans for our clients, we always take everyone's dietary restrictions into place. The things that they enjoy, the things that they don't enjoy. That way, regardless of who's cooking, everyone is happy. Now there's less tension in the house. Now the house as a whole is getting healthier.
Right.
So that's one way we are able to positively impact relationships. The other thing is, if you're able to help someone get healthy, help someone feel more confident in their body, one of the questions we ask when people are signing up are, when is the last time that you felt your best? When is the last time you looked in the mirror and 10 out of 10, you were fully, completely in love with yourself? And that question cuts deep for a lot of them, because some say it's been a decade, like it's been over 10 years since you felt that. Is that why we're trying to make a change now? And oftentimes it's yes. But imagine living in that and then having to have relations with other people. It affects how you show up. So if we're able to improve how they feel about themselves internally, it trickles into everything else.
Right.
And to your second question, and how I look at the scope of relationships now, it's the wild, wild west. Wild, wild west. And funny enough, in 2021, when I graduated, I went on a journey, and I wrote I guess you could call it a book. I wrote a book, and it was called Intentional Dating, A Short Guide to Navigating the Streets.
Oh, wow.
And I wrote it over the course of a summer, and all it really focused on was improving yourself. Because love your neighbor as you love yourself. If you're not loving yourself, and if you're not showing up for yourself, how can you truly love others?
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing that's missing in all these relational conversations. We're so focused on the other person, but if you look in the mirror, oh, you want your person to be 6 foot, look like this, do all of these. Are you doing those things yourself?
So to that point, right? If we're constantly, I guess one is a fool for what they don't know, right? And if what you're consuming is dictating what you know, or that's your information base. And you're continuing to consume what we're seeing on social media, what we're seeing on different shows, and we think that this is what love is, right? How do we then define what love means to us if we see a picture that states or dictates this is what love is, if that makes sense?
The answer to that became very apparent for me when I had kids. Because I love God,
Yeah.
and everything I do is centered in that. As a father, I can truly understand how God loves me because it's how I have to love my kids.
Mm.
Even at the times where I have to discipline them, I'm disciplining you because I love you. I'm saying no to you because I love you. So that is the perfect example of love. The same way that God loves us, you're able to pour that love into other people, whether it's your children, whether it's your spouse, whether it's the stranger on the street. I think that is the ultimate blueprint that we need to filter things by, because you're going to see everything on social media. But is that the representation that I should follow, or should I go back to the creator and fact check?
Right.
God, they say I'm supposed to do this, this, and this. Let me go find in the word, God, what do you think about this? Let me wrestle with this. Let me meditate on it to figure out how am I supposed to show up in the space of life now where things are completely different. So that's how I approach it.
Got you. And I could tell that you're very faith-based, and it, the idea of the example of the Good Samaritan, right? That shows that these are the good deeds, right?
Yeah.
With exception to you. So because it sounds like this is how the wellness lab is structured, right?
Mhm.
So why don't you walk us through, if someone came to or called you or reached out to your people and say, I'm interested in the wellness lab, or just walked in the office and was like, hey, I want to be a part of this. What does that look like? Why don't you paint a picture for those who are watching and listening? Yeah.
Yeah. So the first thing always starts with a conversation. Typically, people DM us the word coach on Instagram. And then once that happens, we have a conversation, just a general conversation to get an underlying understanding of what your goals are, what you're struggling with. Are you willing to invest in your health? And what are some underlying things that we need to wrestle with? If the conversation flows there and things are good, then we get on a call. Depending on the time, you either get on a call with me or someone on my team. And that's where we really deep dive into you even more. That's where we're able to ask the deeper questions, because oftentimes you ask someone, what are your goals? Oh yeah, I want to lose 30 pounds. I want to, I want to reverse this disease or whatever. Well, okay, but why do you want to do those things? Because a month or 2 months from now, we need to anchor to something as for your why. We need to anchor to something to help motivate you to keep you going. So we have that conversation and we help them map out a plan. We have a 3, 6, 12-month program. Everyone's goals are different. And it's an opportunity for us to actually have a deep conversation, because I don't work with everyone. If you're looking for a quick fix, if you're looking for a detox, if you're looking for just a pill, I don't do those things. I want to make sure, because I know we're going to be 100% committed. I want to make sure the women that come through our program are 100% committed as well, because we have a guarantee. Either I'm going to help you see a significant change in your body or lose a certain amount of weight, depending on how much weight you're trying to lose and which container you fall into, or I send you all your money back plus $100.
Wow. Amazing.
So I have to make sure you're committed before you step into this thing.
You said you send the money back plus what?
Plus $100. So if they do not lose weight, do not
Guaranteed.
see a noticeable difference in their body, we send them all their money back plus $100. This year, I have not had to do that one time.
Wow.
Awesome. And you spoke about pills. Do you recommend supplements or herbs? And, I know you have to do a whole workup, but if that was a part of someone's, daily regimens, would you recommend that?
It depends. I'm very food first, because oftentimes we're supplementing because we can't get it from food. Oftentimes people don't know that they can get certain things from food. The biggest supplement that we recommend early on is just a protein supplement. We first try to get it through food, but a lot of the ladies that come through struggle to get more protein in their diet, which is going to be very necessary if you're trying to lose weight, because without it, you're going to lose muscle as well. So we typically recommend a protein supplement if they're consistently deficient in that. And then we get into the other supplementation, like during the winter seasons, I've recommended fish oil. I've recommended vitamin D and K to a lot of my ladies, because we're lower in sunlight right now. We get darker earlier. And with the colder seasons, your immune system and stress levels are different. So those two things can help. So it really just depends on the needs of each individual.
Fantastic. Dr. Connie, what is the legacy that you would like to leave with all of the work that you're doing?
That is a good question. No, crazy that no one ever asked me that. That is a good question. The legacy that I want to leave, honestly, I think that's one of those things that I haven't sat down and really thought about yet. I'm just been working and going. One of my prayers is, God, help me bring people closer to you. And I want my name to speak for itself before I ever step in a room.
Wow.
And those are the two big things. And honestly, I put my head down and I keep moving, even with whether the highs or the lows. It's all for a reason. I keep my head down and I just keep moving. And that's a question I'm gonna sit with, because right now I'm just working.
Wow. Yeah. So that leads me to asking you, right? Since it's certain questions that you don't even think about when it comes to yourself, because you pour into so many people, right?
Yeah.
How do you mentally, physically take care of yourself, right? How do you sit within and say, you know what, my cup is empty because I've been pouring into everybody else's cup, right? How do I take care of myself?
Yeah, there's two major things that I do. Number one, at the start of every day and at the end of every day, I'm not always perfect with it, but at the start of every day and the end of every day, I try to spend 20 minutes with God. And I'll either read a scripture or I literally just sit there, play worship music, and kind of just get my head together. So those two things help me set the tone for my day. And regardless of how the day goes, it helped me decompress before I have to interact. Because I have a lot of conversations throughout the day, a lot of emotions throughout the day. So those two things are kind of what help me stay grounded each day. And then exercising. Exercising is literally, I find so much joy in it because it's a moment where before, when I played basketball, you can't have your phone on you while you're hooping.
Yeah.
So everything external kind of disappears for a while and you're able to just focus on this task. Now that I don't play basketball as often, when I go to the gym, that's the same thing. I get to disappear for a little while and kind of just be with myself. I typically don't listen to a lot of music when I work out. I'll either do podcasts, listen to worship. Sometimes I'll do worship music, but I typically listen to a podcast. So I kind of just can dissolve my mind in that.
Yeah. Well, make sure you continue to listen to Beat Talk Weekly, this podcast when it hits, So, before we let you go, I appreciate the work that you've been doing. For someone listening today, what would you give them? What would you say to them as a life goal or tip or trick or something that someone may be listening right now and may feel a little down or maybe, feeling, some type of ailment? What would you give them right now? What would you say to them?
Yeah. I did a Bible study earlier today, actually, on social media. And we were reading out of the book of Samuel, 1 Samuel. And the topic for today was really stewarding your wait season the right way. Because when you wait on God, there's two ways you can wait on God. You can wait on God in expectation, but you can also wait on God by serving him. So understanding, regardless of what life looks like right now, something is on the way, but there's something that you're supposed to be learning here. Even if it's an ailment that you're struggling with, take a moment and assess, how did I get here? If we're looking at something like type 2 diabetes, that is something that we are in control of.
Yeah.
Let me go back and assess my habits. How did I get here? There's something I'm supposed to learn here so that I can improve and get away from this thing. So as you're in a certain season, if you're in a waiting season, if life is rough right now, because we know what's going on in the world, continue to search for him. And then everything else will start to work itself out. So find the purpose in the moment that you are, and don't skip over, don't try to rush through your waiting season because there's a reason behind it.
Fantastic. Don't skip over the moment that you're in. I love that right there. So, geez, man, I hate to let you go. You got to promise that you come back.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. I appreciate y'all having me here.
Absolutely. Why don't you let everyone know how they can get in contact with you, find out more about the Wellness Lab, all of that good old stuff. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So the best way to contact me is going to be on Instagram. And my username is dr.salako. It's dr.salako. That's the same name on every platform. The best way to get in contact with me is on Instagram. Head into my DMs and comment the word coach. Let me know you came from here and we'll have a conversation. From that conversation, we'll be able to get you in the help that you need and get you in momentum.
Fantastic. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Look, he said, if you listening to this, let them know you came from here. We Talk Weekly. Let them know. I had to pull these up because someone was like so good at Dr. Dobson, and he also said, amen to the things that you've been talking about, or maybe it's a young lady, right? And so I just want to say thanks for coming on. I know that people want to hear this, listen to this, and watch this and get so much out of this. I appreciate you pouring into the people. That's one of the things that we do here at We Talk Weekly. We try our best to give the information to the good old folk, the information that is lacking, that they have no connection to, and we serve as that bridge to connect that, right? And I would like to think that that's what we're doing right now. And so you got to make a promise to me. You got to promise that, one, you go in on YouTube and follow We Talk Weekly. So after we chop up your interview, right, you'll be able to get the alert to know when your particular interview is out, because we're going to chop this up and make sure that you have it on your own. Go ahead, Spartan.
One last question.
Yeah.
When is baby girl due?
So she is due January 21st.
Oh, not long.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're around the corner. And my birthday is January 12th. So I'm like, God, please let me get one day to myself. Give her a week. Let her come one time so I can have a day to myself. Figure out the rest.
No doubt. Fantastic. One more time, how can they get in contact with you and all that good old stuff?
Yes, the best way to get in contact with me is on Instagram is dr.salako. That is Dr. Salako. Head over to Instagram, message me the word coach, and then we will have a conversation. Let me know you came from We Talk Weekly. I look forward to chatting with you.
Fantastic. Awesome. Round of applause. Hope you come back on the show. One thing we say on the show is once you come to the show, you're a friend to the show, so you're always welcome to come back. I'm going to make sure Sheila sends you something so you can come back on our end of the year wrap up. I think it would be great to kind of give some more nuggets to the people in terms of what was the biggest moment of 2025 for you. That's how we do our wrap up.
I love that. I love that. I'm gonna know my legacy by the time I come back.
There you go. We're gonna ask you. All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. What a dynamic interview. We're super excited about what we're doing here. So I don't want you guys to go anywhere. When we come back, we got another interview. Thank you, Dr. Connie. We really appreciate you, my friend. We'll see y'all in a minute. Don't go nowhere. If you want to ask me, don't ask me. Ask Celeste.
What's going on? This your favorite fly guy, Charles Gregory. We Talk Weekly. Listen, everyone always asks me. They inbox me, email me, all type of things. We're trying to find your podcast. I mean, we can find your videos everywhere. All we have to do is go to WeTalkWeekly.com, or all we need to do is go to YouTube, or all we need to do is turn on Business Bully Channel, turn on Higher Than 7, turn on, we can find you. But sometimes I just want to work out and I want to listen to your podcast. I want to hear the latest in the sizzle, entertainment news, or good news and bad news, or just simply, I want to hear the interviews, some music, anything sports. I just want to listen. I don't know where to find your podcast. I said, you know what? It's real simple. All you have to do is ask the right person. Watch this. Hey, Alexa, play We Talk Weekly's podcast.
Here's We Talk Weekly from Amazon Music. Here's where you left off in the latest episode. Olivia Jade Red Table Talk, Kevin Hart Backlash for Netflix special No F's Given, and more.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to We Talk Weekly's After the Talk. And I'm your boy Charles Gregory with the beautiful.
Classy Lady Sparkle.
See, I told you. It's not that hard, ladies and gentlemen. All you have to do is ask the right person. Ask Alexa. Look, I'm out here. Thanks for watching. Keep supporting. Keep subscribing. Keep telling people to chime in. We out here like last year. I love.
There we go. We Talk Weeklies After the Talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies After the Talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful
Classy Lady Sparkle.
and the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
And we're just super excited about what's going on today, because you know what we have now?
What do we have?
We have the interview, and you already know how I feel about the interview. So why don't you tell us who do we have today?
Today we have Stephanie Lee Jackson. Stephanie Lee Jackson is the founder of Practical Sanctuary. It's a trauma-informed interior design visionary, former anatomy and physiology instructor at CCP, and the author of the Eccentric Genius Habitat Intervention. Y'all already know what to do. Let's give a warm We Talk Weekly welcome to Stephanie Lee Jackson.
Wow, how are you?
Hello.
Fantastic. It's exciting to have you here today. How are you feeling? We like to start with how are you feeling? How was your day?
I am hanging in there, guys. I have had a very busy day.
Okay.
I just came from Paradigm Gallery where there was a reception for all the artists that have been published in Root Quarterly magazine. It's a Philadelphia art and ideas magazine run by Heather Sean Blakesley. Before that, I was at a Braver Angels course about how to talk across polarized political lines. And I have a friend visiting, and I'm also a massage therapist, and I gave him massage. So it's been a really long day.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Well, we thank you so much for squeezing us in.
I prioritized you guys. I designed my
Aw.
day around this.
Thank you. Thank you. It makes us feel special. Makes us feel special.
Awesome. It looks like Charles is
Just
getting.
go ahead and interview.
All right. Well,
together.
Stephanie, can you tell us, like, I'm reading your bio and you mentioned an author, massage therapist. Can you tell us, like, where did Stephanie start with her creativity and things that she likes to do to be the woman you are today?
I started as an art major and turned into the kind of artist that gets her furniture out of dumpsters and starts alternative art spaces with no money and just lives to make art. And that was going to be my whole life. And I moved to Mexico to make art so that I could just focus on the art. I moved to New York to do the art world thing where I was going to make it in the big city. I started an art space there. I had a couple of art blogs. And in 2010, I hit a wall.
Wow.
I had my daughter. The economy tanked. I had looked behind the curtain at the art world enough to know that it did not reflect my values and was not going to reflect my values. And I left.
Wow.
I ended up in Philadelphia. I took my massage business seriously as a business. I learned about business skills. And then a couple years in, one of my massage clients said, Stephanie, I love the art in your studio. Would you paint my staircase risers? And I said, no, I'm not doing that anymore. And she said, I'll write you a check.
The magic words.
And I said, yes.
Let's give a round of applause for our financials.
And I realized that was what I was born to do because I love my clients.
Right.
And they feel free to be vulnerable with me.
I love that.
And my client had a vision and she described her vision. And I said, I can do that. But it was a collaboration. We spent 5 weekends together. We had long conversations. She watched the stairs unfolding. She said, I'm not paying you enough. I'm like, I'll take more. Money. And filtering my aesthetic understanding through the eyes of another person's vision and through the eyes of her space and her temperament and her nervous system was much more fulfilling to me than making objects in a studio that I then have to go out and try to sell. So I turned those business skills to design. And along the way, I discovered that I have a superpower, which is being able to walk into a space and know what needs to happen in that space to make it comfortable for everybody there, to make it feel the way you want to feel when you want to accomplish something in that space. Because as a massage therapist, I'm working directly with people's nervous systems.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And it is really obvious to me that a lot of the ways our places are designed, a lot of the things we automatically put in make it impossible for a certain number of people to function in that space. People who are neurodivergent, meaning that their brains work differently, different patterns of perception and sensitivity. People who are highly sensitive, meaning they're just taking in more and more nuanced information. People with trauma, people with PTSD All of these things that we just automatically put in our space can be a barrier to someone being able to be comfortable, to take in information, to connect with another person in that space. It's particularly bad in healthcare because as an anatomy and physiology professor, I know that if your nervous system is in fight or flight, it turns off your body's ability to think, to lay down memories, to conduct cell repair, to attack infectious agents, to attack cancer cells. Our nervous system is on a toggle switch. It's either fight or flight or rest and digest. If a hospital is stressing you out by the fact that there are bright lights, there are alarms, you are not able to sleep properly, all the equipment looks like you're about to be tortured, it's like putting the brakes and the accelerator on at the same time with your healing. So my mission now is to get the understanding of how the human nervous system works into the design phase of every single space that is developed. So we are creating spaces that allow people to naturally exist as creatures together in this habitat and be able to connect, to think, to learn, to heal, to focus, to interact with one another. And our environment is lifting us up. It is supporting our actual biology as opposed to draining it.
And it's something funny you said that, because at the hospital, they maybe about 15 years ago for the maternity ward, they switched it. Like they started to design it as if a woman was home, that it wasn't all those, intimidating machines. And so you're right.
Yeah. They're starting to have birthing centers rather than maternity wards,
Right.
which has such an implication that even the language we use, the cues in our environment, the social cues, the cultural cues, the status cues. If there are cues in an environment which is you're small, you don't matter, your people with your background did not build this space, people with your cultural understanding did not build this space, you're not welcome here. That's going to put your nervous system into a higher state of threat, just as a bottom line.
Yeah.
And that affects our health long term. When your nervous system is constantly feeling like I don't belong here, it's like
cortisol.
It erodes our well-being. And so my mission is very much about radical neurological inclusivity. I often have people say, "Oh, you're the person who designs for neurodivergent people." I say, I design for everyone, including neurodivergent people.
Yeah.
And then if you make that your baseline, it's better for everyone. You don't have to be neurodivergent to not like bright lights in your eyes and loud noises battering your mind and your eardrums all the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I'm just amazed at what you're saying as far as the different things that you don't really recognize about what your environment is like. Is this something on how the practical sanctuary? Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah.
Well, I named my business Practical Sanctuary. My first business is called Practical Bodywork. It's my massage business. And I use those words because what I do can be seen as very abstract and esoteric and a little bit woo. Like the massage work, I do a lot of scientific modalities, but there are energetic modalities too that I use.
Yeah.
And and massage is often seen as a luxury. I don't see it as a luxury. It's tuning for your nervous system, which is your interface with life. And for me, health and well-being and expansion of your consciousness is a practical endeavor. It is about operating at a higher level, and that is a ripple effect. If I am feeling good and feeling like open so that I can connect with you, if I have the mental bandwidth to connect with you, I can learn from you, and I can like help you balance as well. It's this ripple effect. It's this virtuous cycle as opposed to a negative cycle. When you have systems that are draining your mental energy, your well-being, your world gets smaller and you're less able to care for the people that you need to care for. And if your environment is giving your energy and reflecting back with cues, like, who am I? Is this environment telling me who I am in a way that is speaking to my higher self? And if that is expanding my consciousness, I give that to the people that I interact with, my children, my family, my community. So I try to create a virtual spiral. And for me, that is the way to solve all the problems that plague us. We can't do it alone. We have to do it with other people, and it needs to be fun.
Yeah. Wow. You know what? As you're talking, I was trying to locate this. So a dear friend of mine, she lives in Australia. Her name is Emma. She's one of my colleagues in image. She's an image consultant, and she talks a lot about neurodivergent people. And she talks, and I have kind of like her file here. She talks about the sovereignty compass, about dark masculine and light masculine power and softness, intimacy. She talked a lot about that as by way of image, right? And listening to you remind me so much of the conversations we have as it relates to image, right? One of the things, I'm a credential image consultant, and one of the things that we talk about in terms of the person is the ABCs, right? Appearance, behavior, and communication, how you respond to nonverbal communication, which is your clothes, right? But also, interesting enough, environment to which you're talking about, right? Which I find fascinating, because that's where the idea of feeling zen in your spaces, right? So kudos to you in that continued growth of understanding of the person and the being. In those travels, have you found any aha moments that you've been working? Oh gosh,
So many.
so many. So what were some of those aha
So many.
moments? Yeah.
Okay, I want to tell you about a project I'm working on right now.
Sure, please do.
I'm collaborating with a podcaster who is a veteran with PTSD. He has done massive amounts of healing work, a lot of it woo, and also like a lot of practical therapy.
Yeah.
He started his podcast because he really loved having the kinds of conversations
for
you
sure.
would have. And when I reached out to him, he said, I think I can benefit from you more than you can benefit from me.
Wow.
And we arranged that I'm working with him and we're documenting the process. So I'm a designer. I'm an interior designer. And so I help with the actual physical space, but I work virtually. I can work anywhere in the world, and I just have people take me on a tour of their place through Zoom. And I ask a lot of questions, and we start there. Well, when I asked him for a tour of his place on Zoom, he took me through his place and he had a panic attack.
Mm.
And I could see it on his face. I was like, "You're having a really hard time, aren't you?" And I said, "Where do you feel safest in this house?" And I said, "Take me there." We went there. And I talked him through a somatic processing where I asked him to feel what was happening in his body without judging, without trying to fix it, and notice what was going on in his mind, but really bring his attention back to his body. And it took a good 20 or 30 minutes for us to get him to a place where he was like not spiraling. And, I gave him his homework. We had scheduled a follow-up. But when we talked in our follow-up for his podcast, it really struck me how what I am doing is so much about working with the person's nervous system before we start with the space, because I'm coaching people through their own reality. And you can't even start working with this until you work with this. And you get your information for what this needs by being able to look here. And when people have neurodivergence or they have trauma, they have to learn to wrangle their own nervous system. And a lot of what I'm doing is teaching people how to do that and then extend that out.
Wow. Wow. So deep. What is it about interior design specifically gives you that that push or that encouragement to continue your work?
It's so much fun. It's so much fun. I could do this all day, every day, if I had, the material. It's like a 5-dimensional jigsaw puzzle. It really is like putting a puzzle together. And when you're putting a puzzle together, first of all, you assume there's a solution. I find that many times people get blocked because they assume there isn't a solution. So they don't try. There's just this despair. I like combating that despair. I like going in and saying, "Oh, there's a solution. We're going to find it." And then it uses all parts of my brain. See, as an artist, I just loved being in flow. I love putting on a piece of music, having the light coming in and be literally dancing in front of the canvas. Like really just in that, like when you're dancing or when you're doing something that you're meant to do, you're just like, it's like diving into a wave and there you are. And when I'm doing this, I'm working with my client. I'm working with color and light and smell and texture. And I'm working with everything around me. So it's this complete immersion where there's nothing missing.
Yeah. I love that. I love the idea. So let's talk a little bit about palettes, right? And color, since you brought up color, as people respond differently to color, right? For some, red might be a powerful color, to others, red might mean like war and death, right?
Exactly.
And so when you're designing, do you do, I don't know, some type of kind of like sit down, like, to say, okay, and engage what empowers you, what starts you, what
100%. Yes. That is what part of taking on a tour. The next thing I have people do is take pictures of their space and as many as they need to. And then we share them to an album where I can see them and we can have a conversation. So I'll ask questions. Tell me about that piece of artwork. Tell me about that object. What's the story? How does it make you feel? And I start getting to know what lights them up, what their aesthetic response is, because people always have something and they are responding to things even if they can't articulate what they're responding to. So because my background is so much about aesthetics, if they tell me any words about how something makes them feel. I had a client once, we trying a color in her living room, and she said, "It looks like a school. It looks like a gym." I'm like, "That's it. You don't have to say anymore. I know exactly what you mean. We will change the color. It's not the right color. I know what you mean." So they're giving me clues, and it's like a mystery too. And then once we get the clues, there's an experiential process that you go through when picking a color. It's about your emotional response to the color. It's about how the color behaves in that environment, including latitude, ceiling height, size of window, what you're doing in that space. And I have people literally pick a bunch of color swatches. I will pick them for them, but I'll be like, try a bunch of these. And then we've got to go like make squares and put them in the room and then have them live. And they have to feel in their body how it feels to be with that color. So it takes a week or two to find the right color because it is a process.
Is that part of your consultation? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
yes.
Sure.
Well, if they want color, that's part of it. It's a package deal.
Right. So do you ever, and as you're talking, you're making me look up things because I'm like, wow, everything is just, so I have, so when I went to Temple, I actually took a interior design, got certification from Christine Robinson, which Robinson Interiors, that's her name. That's her company, right?
Mhm.
And so she specialized in periods, right? In saying, okay, well, I want to be modern versus I want this kind of throwback style, right, in color.
Mhm.
And so, it's interesting to hear you talk about your path of walking, the client through, okay, your feelings, the
Mhm.
colors.
Mhm.
Now let's talk about style, right?
Yes.
What's the style, or how do you, sit on, this is what the style of this is going to
Yeah.
look like? Yeah.
I elicit that through experience.
Right.
A lot of the people who hire me are very smart people who haven't really articulated their own style because they're not visual people a lot of times. So I will I will look at what they have.
Right.
I will what do you like? What do you not like? What's working? What isn't working? And then I'll start putting together mood boards, including like Pinterest pictures. And I'm like, do you like this or this? Do you like this or this? And they'll be like, yes, yes, no, 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 yes. And we start to build like a style vocabulary.
Yeah.
So I had some clients who discovered through this process that they're all about the mid-century modern.
Right.
They are not about the Victorian,
Yeah,
you know,
there we go.
and it's like, great. So now we've got a style, and now I'm just like, there's a great mid-century modern place. I went there first. I met them and I took them on a field trip, and we kind of narrowed down what they needed.
Right.
I do a lot with sustainability too.
Okay.
So we identified they love mid-century modern, and it's like, great. Now we know exactly what you need. We know the dimensions. We know the style. Now we go on Facebook Marketplace.
Right. Right.
We didn't buy new.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Fantastic.
It reminds me of like when people do the assessment to see if they're a public speaker, if they, what style of work they should do or occupation. A lot of times when we're trying to express ourselves, it's fashion.
Yes,
We can,
yes.
wear certain things, and it tells us if that person is colorful or outgoing.
Mhm.
But some people are apprehensive, but when it comes to your home, that's when you're supposed to like let the paint explode, and it sounds like you help people to do that, or to help people understand that, like you said about the red,
Yeah.
some people look at it as beautiful, bright, and then some people look at it as death and gory. So
Mhm.
when you're walking people through, are you looking at the childlike spirit in them sometimes to say, hey, what happened? Where it had to start from somewhere,
Yes.
Yeah.
and then
Yes.
built up. So how do you reach that child within them to have those conversations?
There are always clues, and a lot of it is just giving people permission and validating what they respond to, because there's always a thing that they respond to, and it's usually something they're kind of embarrassed about.
Mm.
And then they'll show me this thing, like, well, I like this thing, but and I'm like, oh, okay, this is the key.
Yeah.
And because I have the vocabulary, the aesthetic vocabulary, where I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, this is an aesthetic vocabulary, is preferences are subjective, but physics has rules.
Mm.
And if they tell me what they're subjectively responding to, I will point out the rules of physics, which is what is happening with that thing, that color, that image, that object. I'm like, this is actually doing something. And when I point it out, they can always see it. So that gives them confidence that it's like, it's not just this random thing. Oh, I just like that, but there's no reason. I'm like, okay, so you like that, and you like this energy, you like this pattern, you like this resonance, something that is a pattern that they respond to.
Yeah. Wow. I could talk to you for days. Jeez, this is so good, and time flies. What would be, do you have like a style? Like, what is your favorite style of creation? Yeah.
Well, my personal style, I make spirals. It's like they're helixes. I mean, it's like that's how my body moves. I used to be a dancer, and like my partners would complain, you're always going in circles. I'm like, they didn't want to go back and forth. I wanted to go around. When I paint, it's all the curves. Like there's drawings in my book. It's all the curly cues. That's just kind of my personal vibe. But when I'm working with clients, I really pull back on that because it's about them.
When's your birthday?
September 6th.
September 6th. Yeah,
Virgo.
Yeah, fantastic.
I'm not surprised.
I want to talk a little bit about, before I let you go, I want to talk a little bit about the book, right? Amazing. One of the things that I want to talk about, Stephanie Lee Jackson is founder of Practical Sanctuary Sensory Interior Design, which is so interesting. She is the artist, massage therapist, designer, and highly sensitive person with many friends on the autism spectrum. Her mission is to create inclusive spaces for all neural types, which is something that I wanted to jump in because you have to be plugged in, so to speak, to get neural spaces, to get people in those particular spectrums, right? I'm considered neurodivergent, right? And so when you decided to jump into that space, was it because you had this feeling or felt that it was a need for someone? Yeah.
I felt that there was a need. My late brother-in-law was an architect. He was floridly neurodivergent. We had plans to collaborate for the next 50 years, and he passed of lymphoma 12 years ago.
Wow. Sorry.
I completed the house that he was building with my sister. I did the interior design. And because we were so close, and because I have a lot of other friends that are neurodivergent, I love quirky people. Yeah. And I'm introverted. And so I get close to a few people and I analyze them. So understanding how Leaf's brain worked and how my best friend's brain worked and how all the other people's brain worked was just so fascinating to me. And then Leaf was putting his own nervous system into the spaces he was designing. So there was always a reason for everything he did. And I find that fascinating. And because because I'm sensitive and because I'll go out with my neurodivergent friend and we'll go try to sit and have a conversation in a cafe where it's really, really loud. My friend can't hear me. They're stressing out. I'm stressing out. It's like, it's pretty personal at that point. It's like, I want to feel good in spaces and I want to connect with other people. And I just have all of this knowledge that I just got just because I love my friends and I think about them. So it seemed like something that needed to happen. Yeah. And I looked around and no one was doing it. So I'm just like, I guess it's me.
Yeah. Amazing. I want to talk about this quote because as no one knows, I'm actually writing my book, right? This idea of people, I know we do now, right? I shouldn't say, but this idea of people need this stuff. Stuff. When you mentioned that, right? Because for people who are in the field, right, some don't necessarily understand our worlds, right? And for someone to say, "Oh, that stuff," right, can drive people like us crazy because to us that's our world. That stuff is our world, right? So when someone says that, or to that line, what do you say? What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the stuff?
That line is from a client of mine who is a mathematics professor. She's brilliant. She's in Edinburgh and she WhatsApps me at random with like pictures of her apartment. So she's been through the process with me, and it taught her a lot about herself. It helped her empower herself and take her own personal life to a new level. I feel like our surroundings are always giving us cues. And if our surroundings are always telling us, you're in a hallway, like metaphorically and physically, like you're not where you want to be. You don't know how to get there. You're living this kind of half life. You haven't arrived. I feel like most of us spend our lives like feeling like we're in a hallway and we don't know we're going to get there. My mission is to have people like feel like they're really living
instead of just existing.
Like when I was painting and I had the cello music on and I had the light streaming in and I was like dancing in front of the canvas, like that's now.
Yes.
That's life. That's why we all came here. We're having this conversation. That's why we came. It's what we came for.
The moment.
I want people to be able to show up and be present for everything that life has. And there's a lot of components to that. So I call it stuff, or she calls it stuff.
Fantastic. That's
Awesome.
amazing. So before we let you go,
I do have one question.
go ahead.
For massage therapy, I'm familiar with massage therapy and lymphatic massages. How important is the lymphatic massages, and what do you think about that?
Lymphatic massage is incredibly important for anyone post-surgery. It is about helping your damaged fluid management system manage fluid while the body is healing and regenerate the pathways that will continue to manage that fluid. If you have, for example, a mastectomy and they damage the lymphatic nodes and you don't get the proper lymphatic drainage, you're going to end up with an arm that is going to be swollen for the rest of your life.
Oh, wow.
It does permanent damage.
Yeah.
It's important to have a lymphatic massage from someone who is very well trained because you can do damage. I personally don't do it because I don't want to have that level of responsibility and I haven't had the training. I do teach massage at Community College of Philadelphia and I encourage my students who are interested to go into that. If you're completely healthy and you haven't had surgery and you read some marketing copy about a lymphatic drainage massage, you're like, that sounds great. I want to tell you that that's marketing copy. That's all that is. There's probably going to be another massage that's going to help you feel better because lymphatic drainage is incredibly light and incredibly specific. So if you want to like feel like you got your muscles worked out, don't go get a lymphatic drainage massage.
Wow.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
So the Eccentric Genius Habitat Intervention, interior design for highly sensitive people. And so, author, I need you to do me a couple favors before you leave. One, how can people get in contact with you?
They can go to my website, practicalsanctuary.com.
Two, you have to make sure that you subscribe to our channel so you know when your particular interview come out. And last but not least, you didn't sign my book. So
that
you
was
must
an
sign my book.
oversight. Yes.
And so we're super excited for you. We're super excited that you came on the show. And one thing that we say to the show is once you come to the show, you're a friend to the show.
And where can they find your book?
You can find it on my website,
Okay.
practicalsanctuary.com. I make it easy for you, except that spelling practical sanctuary is something that can be hard to type, but you'll figure it out, I'm sure.
Fantastic. So you got to promise that you come back.
I sure will. I really had a great time.
Oh, fantastic. We appreciate you. You know, we love to interview the people, you know, just to see what's going on, what's out there. A lot of people don't know, right? And so it's just great to see the amount of work and the things that people are doing. So we just want to thank you for coming to the show. It was an absolute pleasure. Yeah.
It was a joy for me. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. All right, y'all, don't go anywhere. When we come back, of course, we got the sizzle. You know, I'm super excited about the sizzle. We'll be right back, y'all. But where can you hear us? Just ask Alexa. We'll be right back.
What's going on? This your favorite fly guy, Charles Gregory. We Talk Weekly. Listen, everyone always asks me. They inbox me, email me, all type of things. We're trying to find your podcast. I mean, we can find your videos everywhere. All we have to do is go to wetalkweekly.com, or all we need to do is go to YouTube, or all we need to do is turn on Business Bully Channel, turn on Higher Than 7, turn on, we can find you. But sometimes I just want to work out and I want to listen to your podcast. I want to hear the latest in the sizzle, entertainment news, or good news and bad news, or just simply, I want to hear the interviews, some music, anything sports. I just want to listen. I don't know where to find your podcast. I said, you know what? It's real simple. All you have to do is ask the right person. Watch this. Hey Alexa, play We Talk Weekly's podcast.
Here's We Talk Weekly from Amazon Music. Here's where you left off in the latest episode. Olivia Jade Red Table Talk. Kevin Hart Backlash for Netflix special No F's Given, and more.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to We Talk Weekly's After the Talk. And I'm your boy Charles Gregory with the beautiful.
Classy Lady Sparkle.
See, I told you. It's not that hard, ladies and gentlemen. All you have to do is ask the right person. Ask Alexa. Look, I'm out here. Thanks for watching. Keep supporting. Keep subscribing. Keep telling people to chime in. We out here like last year. Hello.
We Talk Weeklies After the Talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies After the Talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
And yeah, you already know what time it is. You ready for me, Sizzle?
I think so.
I see you over there getting all the spicy information together. One thing I didn't do this. I'll do this when Sparkle come on. But I just want to tell you how much I appreciate the work
Station
that you.
ID.
I did the station ID. I could do it again. We Talk Weeklies After the Talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies After the Talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful
Lauren.
I don't have no problem doing that. I like to continue saying where we from. I know, right? So why don't you let us know? No, what I was.
Did you come out?
Yeah, I came out. Yep. One thing that I always like to say or make sure that I do is always give people the flowers. And you've been doing some great work in politics to your newsletter, to the way that you're covering the stories. And I appreciate you doing that. Before we go into the sizzle, why don't you let everyone know about your newsletter real quick and how they can find it, and then jump into the sizzle. Okay.
So I have been super excited to kind of take this venture to work on my newsletter that I have titled Political Scrutiny. And I thought about that because I know everybody is tired. Like, we're all tired of politics. And but this isn't politics as usual.
Right.
And that's, well, what I'm hoping is that people will kind of like see that part of it is like it's not necessarily politics as usual. But if you go to Substack, my newsletter is on Substack. It's supposed to be a weekly newsletter, investigative reporting, on the ground reporting about different things in politics. But the way that it's structured is that it's set up like a classroom. So, a courtroom. So basically, like, I have background in criminal justice, law enforcement, and journalism. So it's a combination of my background. But if you go to Substack and you type in political scrutiny, basically it's political scrutiny where you are the judge and jury. It is the courtroom of public opinion. So a lot of publications that you go to, you basically will not have an opportunity to add your opinion in anybody's, well, I'm not going to say anybody's, but a lot of people's newsletters or even mainstream media's content. You don't have the opportunity to add your opinion.
Yeah.
They write what they write, and basically it's not with the public opinion included in their writing. But
Right.
This is different. This is with the public included in the writing. So it's basically a civic space where everyday people can step into their own power and examine the facts and decide the verdict for themselves. So I don't just report the news. We put people on the stand. So as the judge and jury of the courtroom of public opinion, it's your opportunity to deliver a verdict on whatever this is. So, for example, I'm on my second article now. I started the first one. The first one was on the No Kings protest. The second one is the government shutdown. And it's titled The People versus the Government Shutdown, SNAP Benefits on Trial. So the way it's set up, when you go to read it, you'll see different components. I start out with providing an opening argument, basically stating what the case is or what the topic is and what we're going to be getting into. Then I provide the evidence, which is the facts, what happened, what we know, and why it matters to you. So then the next component is a cross-examination where we challenge the narratives. We ask harder questions and compare different viewpoints and whatever is stated in the story or topic. And then there's the verdict. So I provide a clear verdict or take on whatever the conclusion, whatever it is, based on the facts. And then at the end, there is the community deliberation, which is the political scrutiny community, where when you subscribe and you join, you're joining this community, you're becoming a part of something. You are the judge and jury in the community of political scrutiny. So when you come on and you subscribe, the gavel is in your hand. You are a part of something greater. You have a voice, and I'd love to hear people's feedback on the stories. I want you to take the poll. I want you to make a decision. I want you to offer your verdict, and it's all about you. And this is how I'm amplifying voices, in the community.
Fantastic. Amazing work. And you know what else I'm excited about?
What's that?
The sizzle. Give it to me early.
All right. So putting on another hat. It's your favorite show, We Talk Weekly. So catch us on all social media and major podcast platforms and subscribe so you never miss an update. And if you want to stay connected, stay entertained, and keep the movement strong, support our content by making a donation on Cash App at $ We Talk Weekly. You can go to wetalkweekly.com and donate via PayPal. No donation is too great or too small. You have people rolling back DEI initiatives. So this is your opportunity to support the journalism that supports you.
Let's go.
All right. So O.J. Simpson's attorney is Matthew Laverne is changing his stance on Fred Goldman's estate getting any money that they were supposed to be awarded from the beginning. So Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown Simpson were brutally murdered, as we know, outside of Nicole's Brentwood, Los Angeles home in June 1994. Although O.J. Simpson was acquitted on the murders, he lost a civil suit. And O.J. Simpson died in April 2024. And at that point, $33.5 million was awarded to the families of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman, those families. So they have not really gotten any money from that all the way up until now. So fast forward to when O.J. Simpson died, and when he died at that time, I guess Fred Goldman was, of course, what is he going to be grieving that O.J. Simpson died? And, he's been without his son all this time. He had some things to say that O.J. Simpson's longtime attorney, Matthew Laverne, took offense to. And then he made this comment. He said within an hour of knowing O.J. Simpson died, he started talking crap. So he's talking about Fred Goldman, who was Ron Goldman's dad.
Okay, I'm following. Okay, go ahead.
So
interesting story. I'm trying to follow it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So well, we all know OJ had passed
right
in April 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And when he passed, Ron Goldman's dad was making these statements, I guess, saying like, he wasn't, he's going, I don't have this actual statements in front of me right now, but
statements about OJ.
Yes, he was saying negative statements.
Negative statement. Gotcha.
So OJ's longtime attorney, Matthew Laverne, caught wind of those negative statements. So when he caught wind of those negative statements, he basically was like, oh, you're not getting this money that he supposed, that they had originally won from the civil suit back in 1997. So he's like, oh, you're not getting this money. But then after a little while, he kind of, reversed what he was saying. And then he was just like, his comments were to the Hollywood Reporter was, as he's explaining how he felt when he heard those statements from Fred Goldman, he said within an hour of knowing that OJ died, he started talking crap. Fred Goldman, started talking crap. And the attorney's like, my advocate instinct was, oh, you're going to keep talking crap on him even after he's dead. Fine, you get nothing.
I know that's right.
And so those were my remarks then, but I backtracked and they were pretty harsh remarks. And now I'm going to go in the other direction. So basically now he's reversed his
dad.
stances. No, the attorney.
Okay.
Because he was going to fight the dad to keep him from getting any money.
Gotcha.
So he's reversed his stance on what he said. Because I guess he got caught up in like, you know,
anger,
he started flexing and just like, oh, you're not getting any money then. You're not getting any of this money that he was supposed to get anyway, because, you know, that was the money that they were awarded.
Right.
So it appears that they have finally, O.J. Simpson's estate has finally signed off on now $58 million for Ron Goldman's dad to be able to get this money decades later. Because even though it started at like 33, it's accruing interest over all this time since it hasn't been paid. Even though they've gotten some things from like selling off his stuff, it still wasn't near the 33.
So I'm trying to. So where was the money? Was it in?
He just wasn't paying it.
Oh, interesting.
OJ just was not paying this money.
Oh, OJ wasn't paying this money.
Right.
So, okay.
Because when he lost the civil, he he was acquitted of the murders back in '94, but there was a civil suit, and he lost the civil suit, and they awarded $33.5 million to the murdered families.
And OJ had that money. He had that type
Well,
of
his
money?
estate. Did they have anything in his estate where sold his?
Well,
house
I think
or-
I think they do have his stuff in his estate now.
Wow.
So I think now they're actually working to get that money to the families.
Wow. And then a lot of times his children, if that civil case wasn't, the children would have gotten it. So now they get nothing probably because there's not going to be anything to grab from now. More than likely.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wonder if having things in trust and all that stuff could have protected him leaving something behind for his kids if he had, took those precautions.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I wondered that too.
Yeah.
And that part I don't know. I don't know if he put anything in trust or anything, but I know he had a ton of memorabilia, and
which is what landed him in jail, with the memorabilia that I think he tried to go get.
Can you imagine what a OJ Simpson playing card would cost? Right. Jeez.
Right.
So his estate probably, especially now that he's deceased, because everything goes up exponentially when you're deceased.
You're worth more.
Yeah, you're worth so much more. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Picasso was considered practically homeless when he was alive, and his artwork was considered like trash, or they considered it like, oh, this isn't really art. Now a Picasso is considered priceless, which means $1 billion couldn't even purchase a Picasso at this point.
And that's sad.
Yeah.
That's sad, because a lot of artists never live to see the true value of their work.
Oh, I forgot. This is your field. Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, they never did. You made me think of, there was another guy that he like pretty much, I can't think of his name, but he's one of the top artists. He has the red hair. I want to say it might have been Van Gogh.
Okay.
Or just pronounced Van Gogh or something. Yeah.
Monet. Was it Monet?
It wasn't Monet. He had a lot of little. He died young, but he had a lot of little scandalous stuff. I think I want to say Van Gogh.
Oh, Van Gogh.
But like he died early, but he was like penniless.
That's
crazy. It's a shame, and so many people making millions off of.
Yeah. Even I hate to sit on this, but even Basquiat. Like he didn't have almost nothing when he passed away. Like, he started being very prevalent in the community, and people started like looking out and stuff like that. And now Jay-Z have a Basquiat, right?
Mhm.
And that's almost, you talking about a few $1 million for a Basquiat right now. I mean, I named my dog after Basquiat, you know, but
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, he did get like some, celebrity recognition.
Yeah.
He was able to see that before he
Passed away. Yep.
I think he dated Madonna.
Yes,
for
he did.
a short time.
Yeah,
right?
he did. Yeah, he was really good friends with Andy Warhol.
Andy
right?
Warhol. Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it was
Geez.
Warhol. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, Lil Boosie. He was arrested back in June 2023 after he was seen in the IG Live video with a gun in his waistband. But Boosie's legal team has been fighting the case to avoid any jail time. So his sentencing has been pushed back. It was scheduled for November of this year, but it's been pushed back to January 2026. And during an interview on The Breakfast Club, Boosie said he's confident that he's not going to see any jail time. But I think basically he's just saying that like as to like I'm not gonna put out any bad energy, you know, you just kind of like I'm not gonna speak negative, like he's kind of saying it like that. But at the same time, reportedly Boosie hired lobbyists to seek a pardon from Donald Trump. So he did at one point post something on X saying, Trump, check my case out. My case was dismissed, but Biden's DOJ recharged me with the same gun charge Biden pardoned his son of. I was told I am the only person in the country facing that charge now. President Trump, I already was given a 10-year sentence in state in 2009 for third offense marijuana. I never was even offered rehab, straight to prison. And Trump, I'm Boosie. I'm a rapper. And it's kind of hard to read it because he has it spelled like
Boosie.
Yeah, and
like he talks.
Right, like you're talking, so it's kind of hard to read. But it's like, and Trump, I'm Boosie. I'm a filmmaker, rapper from Baton Rouge. I was targeted. My lawyer, Megan Blanco, can explain this case. She knew the charges against you were bad. She even spoke about it on the radio. So he did this whole lobbying thing to kind of put himself out there. And he's saying like, oh, it's in the works that he's going to get this pardon from Trump. And is this the new wave? Like we were talking about the pardon process, and like it's is rigorous. Like I've even told my clients, like explaining the pardon process, like, oh yeah, you need to go a certain amount of years with no crimes, no charges, make sure you're doing X, Y, and Z. And then it's just sad that somebody can come up with millions of dollars. Here you go, Trump, $1 million, and they don't have to do anything, no hard work. And you got these people that's like they're living honest lives and trying to do all this stuff, and then they go to apply for a pardon from the governor, and they may or may not get it.
Yeah.
There's people who've been pardoned in halfway houses that were just, that were, I guess you would know better about this, Sizzle, but I guess if it's nonviolent crimes and things like that, to see if, they can get their stuff.
Yeah.
But
And
I hope,
true, yeah.
I think Boosie having a positive outlook is good. I hope, I do hope that they.
So he wasn't waving a gun around or nothing like that, right?
No, he just had like I think somebody had the camera and they was recording him. So they got the back of him and the gun was back here. So
he's a felon.
Right.
But
so apparently somebody saw it.
His attorneys ain't doing a good job.
If that's a cap
you don't know if it was a pellet gun, if it was a BB gun. You don't know if it was a fake gun. So how you gonna prove just on camera? And listen, he just said he a filmmaker. So how you know it ain't no prop?
Yeah.
So his attorneys need
never
to be
admit.
Yeah, how you know from a camera that this is a real gun? You don't know.
Yeah.
If I would have ate. Well, I'm not an attorney.
And the crazy thing is that now they have law enforcement where it's their job to literally comb through
the hip hop
just
police.
So many different social media, like so many different, just social media in general, because they look for like they're looking for like gang affiliation, gang activity. They're looking for like people that are already under like, local and state and federal supervision. Like they're already being monitored, and some of these people are just like carelessly like.
So they basically have a new department in the law enforcement for social media. So it's people who are now officers, but they're not on the beat. They're not administration. They are sitting in a room analyzing social media.
That's their jobs.
Yeah,
that's their jobs now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they're law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's
it's
a
crazy.
new world.
It's crazy, and it's
they get them.
They get people. They solve crimes that way.
Mm-hmm.
You go to court.
Mm-hmm.
Prosecutor has that evidence, that picture, that printout of social media that you on Instagram.
Wow, posting up.
Yes, and that's.
Well, now they do tell you, even with colleges and even trying to get jobs, they have those type of departments that are now looking. When they see your name, they're scrubbing the internet. And now with AI, it's even easier.
It is.
It's like,
it is.
Yeah.
It's another technology where they can identify like eyes and stuff. Like even if you're wearing a mask, it's just crazy.
Wow.
And the stuff that people do that they think they can get away with is harder and harder.
And everybody do it for the gram.
Yes. Yes.
It used
crazy.
to be Vine or something. They used to be
yes.
Nasty. Doing it for the gram.
Crazy. All right. The Celebrity Sizzle Award of the Week goes to Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick, our guy. Oh my gosh, this is so heartbreaking and heartwarming at the same time. Chadwick Boseman will be honored with a posthumous star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame on November 20th. Chadwick Boseman built a meritorious career with roles in Black Panther, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Marshall, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, and The Five Bloods, and so many more. He won awards such as Golden Globe, Critics' Choice, Screen Actors Guild, NAACP Image Awards, and MTV Movie and TV Awards. Chadwick also delivered a powerful speech at his alma mater, Howard University's 2018 commencement ceremony. And the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce had this to say. They are deeply honored to celebrate Chadwick Boseman's extraordinary legacy with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. That was Anna Martinez. She is the Hollywood Walk of Fame producer. And she said this in a statement. She said his powerful performances and enduring impact both on and off screen continue to inspire generations around the world. So we know that Chadwick lost his battle with colon cancer in 2020 at the age of 43, and his wife, Simone Ledward Boseman, she's slated to accept the honor on his behalf. And just a little sizzle sneak peek, Ryan Coogler has confirmed Black Panther 3, the franchise third chapter. So Marvel is rumored to be looking at a February 2028 release date with production to start in early 2027. So I'm like completely sure that they're going to honor him in that film as well. It's like you can't have a Black Panther and just not kind of honor him in some way, like they did in Black Panther 2.
And Ryan Coogler is doing it.
Yes.
Then it's definitely going to be fantastic.
Yes.
It's definitely going to be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't do the second one, right? Did he do the second one?
Yes, he did.
He did the second one. Okay.
I think he has to. Like,
they better not do one without him. Oh my gosh.
That's a lawsuit. That's
that's crazy.
All right, no doubt. Shout out to the Sizzle, man.
I'm the girl Lauren Sizzle, and that was the Sizzle.
And that was the Sizzle, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your boy Charles Gregory, the beautiful,
classy Lady Sparkle,
and beautiful
I'm Lauren Sizzle.
Something that just came in, flash. And this is, you can look this on KYW News Radio. Mayor Parker's $2 billion affordable housing initiative on hold indefinitely. Philadelphia City Council has canceled a hearing on Mayor Sherelle Parker's affordable housing initiative, delaying the program indefinitely. Several council members wanted changes to the mayor's spending priorities, but administration officials showed little flexibility during sometime contentious 5-hour hearings on Wednesday. Several members want more spending on housing for the very poorest residents and less on home purchases assistance for those with moderate incomes. With no agreement, Council President Kenyatta Johnson recessed the hearing rather than call a vote on the plan. So that was Flash from KYW News Radio. What do y'all think about that before we end the show? Yeah?
I'm still digesting what you said about they're focusing more on people who I guess are, what's the new word for homeless? Unhoused
yeah.
or middle income people who pretty much don't own a house, but this will be an avenue for them to be homeowners, it sounds like.
Yeah, several members, just as the quote, several members want more spending on housing for the very poorest residents and less on home purchase assistance for those with moderate incomes. So pretty much, I don't know if you know about from my understanding, the way that reads is, so I was looking into first time home buyer, right?
Right.
So I guess if you are seeking to get one of the affordable houses that they're creating, which is trash, by the way, they're being thrown up. I'm like, come on. It's the new projects. Anyway, there's a few different assistance programs they give. So they give money to help you purchase, maybe down payment, from getting information on how to purchase a house, supporting you by way of information, resources, all that. So you can get a couple $1,000s. I know one program gives you $10,000 to the home, but it doesn't really matter if the home is already $280,000. $10,000
dropping a bucket.
Now it's 270. It's still a lot. So it sounds as if those who can purchase that potential thing, they want to kind of change the money and give it to the people who are truly like struggling to get any type of housing and pour more money into infrastructure behind that, maybe assisting them with getting them in houses or supporting them in any other way. I don't know. I haven't read the plan. I'm only reading the information here, but it sounds like it's something along that line.
I think that what I'm hearing is that they're focusing, like you said, on the poorest, but what does the poorest look like?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Are you talking about people who are living, like you said, in the projects or in Section 8? And then what does that, because there's no middle income anymore, really. Like, you know, are you focusing more, like you said, on middle income people? You said first time home buyers. So what my mind thinks is that these are people with an average credit of either 580 to 620, and they've never owned a home, and they've been on their job for more than 2 years, and they're making at least 50,000 or more, and they need to, you know, get into home ownership for helping with generational wealth. It's hard because if you focus on the people that are not the poorest in that regard, I mean, you can definitely try to split it, but you're preventing it from having people who are at the poorest. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because now you're helping people who are now going to have children and have the family tree where, we see home ownership, we know what that looks like, and now we can grow. Whereas though, if you stop there, that where you're stopping, those are going to now go into the poorest as well. And that to me is going to get bigger.
Yeah. Well, I mean, affordable housing should be affordable.
Right.
You know, the problem is that the quote unquote affordable housing isn't necessarily affordable. So I'm trying to, especially to someone potentially, like if we just bring up the sanitation workers just as a model, they're not making, some of them don't even make $50,000 a year. So if they have or want to own a house, how can they do that on a house that's roughly $280,000 off of the $17 an hour, like
Right. Well, my thoughts on that is that the houses that are privately owned that are going for those astronomical amount, okay, I get it. We're
Yeah.
in an inflation, interest rates will never be the same. But the houses that are owned by the city, they have the leverage to not have to meet the market demand of
True.
what the market of what a house costs, or because it's not with a bank, if that makes
Right.
sense. So if the city were to say, we're buying this neighborhood, and stop letting these developers come and get all these houses, and they buy them for an affordable rate, and then help the community and then have that same community who's going to have jobs here, who's going to give back, then you're looking at the community.
Don't let developers come in.
No, I hear
That's what
you.
I'm saying. That's
you.
what it is. The developers are coming in, they're buying up the land, they're buying up the houses, and that's where the extreme
Yes.
astronomical prices are coming
And
from.
that's not
But the
gonna
city
change.
Yeah.
currently, and I'm dealing with that now. I own my mother's house, and there's a lot next to it, which I should have listened to you, Mom, because I was supposed to own the lot and the house.
Mhm.
I didn't go down there with her to get the house. She got the lot from the city. They said, wait 5 years and you could come back and add her. She said, Sparkle, it's 5 years. Let's go. I was like, I am, Mom, I am. And I kept putting it off, and she got sick. And here I am. But her husband, who's now deceased, he sold it for pennies. The people in the neighborhood who work with developers knew that my mother had passed away, and immediately went to him and said, we're going to give you X amount of money for this.
Sure.
This land
Jesus
is worth right now $139,000. He got it for less than 15. And that's how much he sold it for. No construction has ever been built on this house. Where this area is,
Yep.
houses are 100 years old. The zoning board is trying to build a house in between my
You gotta
house
see how small it
And the
is.
other
it's
house.
small, and now, but
Mhm.
L&I is they're trying to let this go through. You're putting new construction on
You
a
can't
lot.
zone that.
They're
I-
allowing
gonna
it because I
try.
just said they're letting these developers
crazy.
come in
Yeah.
and do what they want. It doesn't even fit the build, the formality of the other houses. So it's going to look
It's gonna look
It-
weird,
right.
like a lot of them do.
exactly.
That's exactly in this
And
whole
you got
quote
this
unquote
one place sticking out like a sore
Yes.
thumb.
Yes, and
in the middle of the hood. Like,
and
Right.
there's so many codes that they are not adhering to, that when I was on the zoning committee, the meeting, they said, oh well, we're working on that, we're getting a variance on that, like,
And it never gets done.
no, but it's people, I think, that are getting in their palms grease or something. But to my point, if the city doesn't allow these people to keep coming in, they keep talking about, oh, we need money, all of the money that we're given, it's like, well, where is it really going?
Going.
The city has control
And-
over these houses.
And that's the question.
What
that needs
happened
be
to the
answered.
when we used to do the HUD, and we would go to different houses with people in the community, and we would paint, and we would do the wood, and we would clean, and then a family would move in. Them programs, they don't even
Yeah.
really give those programs out. They
Nope.
give them out just to check off the box.
Yep.
So that's my spiel on it. I think that the city could do a lot more, not just in Philadelphia, it's across the board.
Yeah. And then my question is that city council passed this budget for it to be done for a specific thing, right?
Mhm.
Then if it's passed for one specific thing, you can't go back and change it
Right.
and say, oh, wait, I want to do something else. So
Yeah.
it's just like if SNAP benefits, the money is appropriated for one thing. You can't say, oh, I'm going to put it to something else. Or
Right.
WIC, I'm going to put, no, that money is allotted for one thing.
Right,
Yeah.
allocated to that.
Yeah. So then it becomes like, oh no, we got to put a halt on this. We need to go back and
Yeah.
take a look at this budget and see what you're doing, because we didn't approve it for that. We approved it for this.
Right.
So that's my question. Like,
This is I just hate how this thing is going on. I don't think it was. I won't say I don't think it was thought put in it, but I don't think it was thought put on it. I think the thinking was how financially they can be this particular initiative can be, not necessarily the people that it affect and a type of foundation that's being created. If you look at these particular homes, these houses that they're buying, one, they're cheap, they're super narrow, and it's kind of like how they're saying that is creating generational wealth by you being able to get one of these affordable houses. Well, at the price that's happening right now, and if you're looking at the market, it looks like we're about to have a crash in a minute. So to now try to get these loans that you have to pay back in the market crash, we're going to be in trouble. Philadelphia is suffering from too much building at this point, and this influx of migration to Philadelphia. There was a meme or video going around of somebody in Philadelphia 100% agreed to. It's like, yo, why y'all coming to Philly? Go back to where we don't want you here in Philly. We are already crowded. You can see that with now all of the bike lanes that they're creating, all of the no more parking. Not only that, PPA is starting to put parking meters in places that traditionally didn't have parking meters there. So now you're making more money off the backs of poor people.
They go into neighborhoods,
That's
like
just nuts,
residential
man. Yeah.
neighborhoods where regular, it's not even like apartments and stuff where you got to have the sticker. They're just putting them up everywhere.
So,
well, Mayor Parker did say, I guess, in addressing the city council's concerns, she did say, quote, nearly 7 in 10 households served will be those earning half or less of the area median income.
The area median income. Okay.
Precisely the families identified as most at risk of displacement and homelessness. So that was her response. But the city wants the budget approved by the end of the year. And the city council's last meeting is scheduled for December 11th. So I guess
we'll keep an eye out on it.
And wasn't it street that when back in, I think it was like the late 80s.
The dollar houses?
Yeah.
Yep, that was
When
him.
he was like,
That was
yo,
him.
we got
my
all
aunt had got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know a
That was
lot
him.
of family and
people,
friends.
yep.
And they were like, he was like, look at all these abandoned houses in Philadelphia, like just sitting there. You got people who moved to other states and they, passed away and the house is dilapidated. There was one lady who just fixed it up. She didn't call nobody. And because it was almost like squatting, but that's where the squatting law came in, where she fixed it up to the point where the city had to give her the house with her kids and everything in it.
And
but
what happened to that? Like where you took care of a property for, what was it, 10 years or
7,
however
it's
long?
7, ain't it?
7,
I think it was
yeah, I
7.
think it was 7.
Yeah.
Then you own it,
but
not no more.
No, but that's my point. If they're houses where you saw dilapidated and they were abandoned houses, they started doing them for dollar houses. It started to make the community thrive, right?
Yep.
If you're seeing where all of these houses or lands where that the city owns, have that same type of approach, initiative to say, we own this, let's give it back to our own community, opposed to selling it to developers. Because a lot of this that sell to developers is basically houses that went in foreclosure that the city took back from the resident.
Yeah,
for whatever reason, they didn't pay their taxes, their water bill, like it's other, other reasons on why they took it back. But the city owns it and then they sell it to developers.
I have a problem with the amount of red tape that has to be completed in order to do something as simple as that. Like it shouldn't be that much. It's just way too much, and it's convoluted. And when you have major developers who has a team that gets through red tape versus
and the money
that's because those pockets are long.
So when you talk about a basic individual that has to go through the hurdles of the red tape and no money to do it except the borrowed money, it's just like, come on, man, it's no competition. So you're having them sweep in and take everything, and that's my biggest issue with city council. It's like, yo, come on, man. Like, cut it. Like, stop these people. Think about your people. The city is going to do all right without all of these developers in here. The city is going to do all right. It needs to be. We talk about the 10-year tax abatement that has always been an issue because they're not paying the taxes that we're suffering from. Meanwhile, Ms. Johnson, that's living directly across the street from this new development, her tax is going up, and she's on a fixed income. I done seen it happen
because,
already.
and that's that, right?
I done
Because
seen it.
now Miss Johnson, who is an elderly, because y'all building over there, now
Yep.
her taxes
That's
have to
right.
go up. And these
Right across the
developers
street.
don't even live here.
Yep.
They live in other, and the
Other
reason that
states.
Yep.
the reason that the tape is so hard is they try to discourage you. They do it so you can't get through the
Yep.
red tape, so
Yep.
that you say,
Mhm.
forget about it. I don't even want to go through
And
that.
to those developers, stop texting me. Leave me alone. Stop calling me about my property.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Yep, leave me out of it, man.
Yeah.
You know, it needs to be some type of some type of benchmark to say, okay, it's going to be this many people that we're going to allow to come in, but after that, it's curtains for y'all. We need plans for Philadelphians that if you're in Philadelphia, you already have residential equity in Philadelphia. So we're going to support Philadelphia developers to develop the community to which they already live in. So they already know that I'm not going to put a white and gray house in the middle of brownstones.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
But
so
the other
that they
thing-
would appreciate
And
that.
they definitely are making sure they're telling the zoning people or L&I that this is a residential, but how you got a residential with a bathroom on every floor and a kitchen? Like, you're not making this residential. You're making this a
Luxury homes.
multifamily.
They're
doing it
luxury
where
homes,
they're doing it for multifamilies or apartments. They're not telling them that when they say it. They're saying, oh, this is for a residential. No. After the first year, they're going to move in multiple people, and it's not even sometimes zoned for that. But that's how that's the way Philly is. So
All right, y'all. I've ran my mouth enough. We Talk Weeklies after the talk on WPPM up Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful
Classy Lady Sparkle.
and the beautiful
Lauren
Sizzle. Why don't you let them know how they can get in contact with us, support us again, and let us and run us out, close us out.
All right. So if you want to catch us on, go ahead and catch us on all social media, major podcast platforms. Subscribe so you never miss an update, and make sure you stay connected, entertained, and keep the movement strong. Go to our Cash App at $ We Talk Weekly. Go to www.wetalkweekly.com. You could donate via PayPal. No donation is too great or too small. Your donation supports everything we do here. I'm your girl Lauren Sizzle, and
we out.
We out.
Peace, y'all.